Nobody loves us anymore. I swear to God, nobody loves us.
If you want opinions, I'm going to give it to you tonight, guys.
It's like funny because usually, like before, back in the old days, we'd end up coming on and there'd be people like
there'd be Zeb. There'd be Zeb with
nobody
his 8
loves
billion.
Him.
Oh.
I haven't seen Zeb over here in a long. We haven't seen Zeb. I haven't seen Miss U.
Miss U, I think, has got a boyfriend now, so she's
she has a boyfriend. I've seen her pop up in a couple other. I mean, she still goes over to like Rachel, and she goes over to
Bizarro.
She doesn't even go. No, she doesn't even go to Bizarro anymore.
No, because like I was watching Bizarro, and he had the last stream I watched with him was you were on there. Hey, Mick.
Yeah,
and and Randy.
Yeah, I haven't seen her over at Bizarro's either.
Yeah.
She didn't really go over to Doc Dawkis's. I don't.
I come into Doc Dawkis and I say hi, and then I don't really stay and watch, but I say hi. I just stream.
Oh, well, she goes. I think Ryan Kidd and Dr. October. She goes there.
Have they done a stream recently? Because I'm subscribed to him.
I don't think they have.
Because I'm subscribed to pretty much everybody in
the
Trish. Hey, Trish.
Hey, Trish. AZ Mix says, Miss U has a new man. I know.
Let me show you something real quick, guys.
I'm curious.
Look what came in the mail for me. I'll show you real quick.
And mine didn't come yet. Mine didn't come yet. Shit. I'm not happy.
Oh, you haven't got your record yet?
Mine didn't come yet. Mine did not come yet. Mine will probably end up coming tomorrow because tomorrow's supposed to be the release date.
Yeah.
And usually I end up getting mine on the release date. There's been maybe a couple of times I've gotten it the day after.
Well, but let me tell you something.
Part of the risk of doing it like this.
21 Pilots, you did too many fucking variants for this album. That's all I'll say. But
well, of course.
There it is. And here's the...
Shall you burn in hell?
No, but the...
I'm just kidding. I was going to listen to it tonight anyway.
No, but the record...
It's frozen? Okay.
No, but look how much splatter is on this record.
Oh, so it didn't get the Ringo Starr treatment.
No, but it looks kind of like... I don't want to say it, but it kind of looks like blood splatter. I call it the blood splatter pressing.
Well, it's supposed to be like Inferno-ish.
Yeah. No, but they did an Inferno pressing, and I kind of like, damn, I should have waited, because they did an Inferno pressing 7 days ago.
Oh, Trish.
But this is pretty.
Trish said, we got an intense storm this morning. The thunder was freaky loud.
But can we just talk about how cool this inner sleeve is? That's pretty cool.
That is a pretty cool inner sleeve.
And then they gave us a poster. They gave us a poster of, I don't know what the...
Everything's surrounded around that lanyard. Everything's surrounded around it. But anyways, we might as well get into this. Because it's a long freaking list. I know we don't want to be here all fucking night.
Hold on, anyways, get the water first.
Okay. So I got to get my water so I can do some yelling.
Also, I want to say one more thing. I did look up Clancy hats, and a lot of people on Etsy were making Clancy hats, but I will be buying a red beanie so that I could do kind of a mix of Blurry Face and Clancy for the tour.
There you go. Because
they said, 21 Pilots fans say you have to kind of follow the eras of the tour when you dress up for the tours. So Clancy it is. Well, that's what some of them say. Some of them say that.
So you guys, according to what they're saying on most of like Variety and everything else, proud source spotter. Non-sponsored. Same thing here. Voodoo Ranger, not sponsored. I should be. Come on, people, Voodoo Ranger.
Pure Life.
Hook a guy up.
Sponsor me, Pure Elite.
At least a couple of free 12 packs, man. I'm always giving you free advertisements anyway. So they say the list is actually made from the opinions of music industry insiders.
Sure.
Okay. Including artists, songwriters, and producers, according to Apple, alongside a team of experts. Maren Morris, Pharrell Williams, J Balvin, Charlie XCX. Why? But anyways. Mark Hoppus.
Blink 182.
Why? Honey Dijon. Okay. Would you mind reading the great poupon? So, and Nia Archives are just some of the artists polled. Oh, they're just polled.
Oh, the poll. That was like Charlie.
Okay, so it's kind of like it's an industry thing. So it says, oh, so that's why Charlie's fourth song, Vroom Vroom EP, wasn't number one, a conflict of interest, I guess. What is up, Nick? So let's go ahead and.
Okay, I got my tea.
Oh shit! What did I do with it?
I got my tea. To spill the tea.
You got your tea. You ready to be upset? Okay.
I'm ready. I'm already upset, so it doesn't matter. I'm already upset.
I've been like I said, I've been trying to avoid the list, so I haven't even looked at it.
No, Anthony Fantano was pretty spot on.
I have the list from as posted on Wikipedia.
Okay. Well, I got this little. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Which is way better because you're not gonna begin like these kind of like advertisements popping up here and there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think they also have they have also redo this or do this. I think that they set this up like this because they knew a lot of music people were going to do presentations with it. So I think that's the reason why they made an interface like this, so that they would end up getting their advertisement in, and then people would have an easy interface to do it. So I think it was planned. These guys are smart. It's Apple. Come on now.
Yep.
So starting off at 100, Robin Body Talk. Robin, I have no fucking idea who that is.
Robin is a very popular artist. She was very big in the 90s. She's from Sweden. This album definitely deserves to be on the list. It's a great album.
She came into prominence back in 1997 with the hit song "Do You Know What It Takes," as well as "Show Me Love," and then she disappeared for like the longest time, but then came back during the 2010s.
Oh wait, that Robin? So you're talking about Robin S? Like you got to show me that? That's her.
No.
Okay,
no,
that's
kind of
confused me. You lost me there. Okay,
this is Robin, the one that does that song. Do you know what it takes to love me? It was a popular song in 1997.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay
and then she does that other song, "Call Your Girlfriend." And then she does "Dancing on My Own." You've heard that song. I'm sure you heard it.
So that is Robin Body Talk 100. Okay, 99, Hotel California. I think should be higher up on the list. I know a lot of people are just fucking tired of this album already anyway. It's one of those most common, a very common album.
Throw that album in the Indian Ocean.
It's a classic. Come on, it's
we're not going to spend it. But we're not going to spend any more time on it because Don Henley will come and sue us.
There you go. Sue us just for like showing the cover.
Okay. Don Henley.
Yeah, so that's got to go.
My dad gave me that album, Don Henley. So don't sue
what's
me.
up, Zepperal? Yeah, so it's like, you know what? A lot of people are telling me that, Zepperal. A lot of people are saying the same thing, that this list is a joke. But then again, it's like, it's Apple. I really thought that this was going to be according to what their streams were, the amount of streams that each album got. But they're saying no, it was supposedly done over the whole industry. So who knows? Next album, 98 Astro. Okay, that's a fucking joke. I'm sorry, but I am not a Travis Scott fan. I'm sure there's people out there who would totally fucking disagree with me.
No.
But Travis Scott,
no,
he can eat a dick. I don't like him.
We've spent too much time on him.
Yeah, that's enough. But anyways, next, Rage Against the Machine, influential album.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they have lost their shine over the years. They have become more of a corporate thing. It's when this album came out, you got to think this album was like at the very start of the new metal, the new metal genre's beginning. It didn't sound like anything else at that time. Although, I mean, when the album first came out and I played it, my mother was like, "Oh, they're just ripping off the MC5." They're writing the MC5's fucking nuts, and she compared it to all these other bands.
But they were very influential for the time when they came out with this album. I mean, I was young, but I think, this album is great. And, I think they deserve to be on this list. I'm just going to say it out. They deserve to be on this list.
Absolutely not, Zephyr. I totally disagree with that. Yeah, that is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, next, Lord Pure Heroin. Great fucking album. Solid fucking debut.
Yeah.
Second album, Melodrama. Solid fucking sophomore album. Third album, fucking sucked.
I mean, I think the second album probably should have been on here too, but this album, for being a debut and for her winning, I believe she won Song of the Year when this album came out. It's amazing because she was 17 when this album came out.
Yeah, I was about to say she was really, really young.
But it's a great album. It's a great album. Can't disagree with that.
Yeah.
This is true. This is true. Okay, let's see here. And next would be Usher. Not an Usher fan.
No.
I'm
not an Usher fan.
I'm gonna
Not an
say
Usher fan.
something. I'm gonna say something.
Uh-huh.
When I was in 8th grade, I bought an Usher album.
Mm.
And
See,
this
I'm not
album,
an Usher. Uh-huh.
this album, even though I'm not a big Usher fan, this is one of Usher's best albums.
It's like I'm not a big Usher fan, but then again, I'm not really much of an R&B fan. Maybe 90s R&B a little bit, not early 2000s. I kind of fell off on that, but I'm pretty sure people that are into early 2000s. I'm sure there's a whole, group of people who would disagree with me, and be like, "That was one of the greatest albums ever. Usher was this, he was that."
No.
Me, it's just not my cup of tea.
It's Usher's best.
This
Who?
I have no idea.
Who are they?
I don't even know who this. I have
Don't know
no
who
idea.
they are.
Can we
So,
just
No.
bury
No.
them? Can we just bury them like the title?
Yeah, we'll bury them. I plead ignorance.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah,
have no
there we
idea
go.
who they are.
no.
First off, no.
So anyways, no,
No as well.
no. We need a.
Okay.
I think the only reason why she has an album is because of her sister.
Okay.
I do not find her talented at all. Solange is not fucking talented. Beyonce pulled some strings, told some people they weren't going to get favors from her, and Solange got her fucking album.
Yeah.
But it was freaking shit. It should not be on any list.
Oh.
You know,
Well, I'm not
that was
surprised to
nepotism
see.
at its best.
I'm not surprised to see this guy on the list. Tyler the Creator with Flower Boy.
Tyler the Creator. Love Tyler the Creator. Tyler
Yes,
the Creator,
me
I
too.
think, shook up rap music. He does
Yeah.
things his own way. Some people would disagree with that and say, "Oh, he's just, he's ripped off other people, of course." But everybody ends up ripping off everybody, and they kind of make it their own.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Yeah.
Tyler the Creator, okay, yeah, I can ride with it.
I
So.
can see him.
Listen without prejudice. I think this is George Michael's greatest album. In my opinion. Some people would say, "No, Faith, what about da 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 da?" No, this album really was really, really mature. And I think this was the start of his really mature era. It was right here. Yeah, this
Yeah.
definitely.
Whereas Faith
Mhm.
still has some of the digs of Wham. This one was like, we're gonna get away from the Wham sound. Now
Yeah.
we're getting serious, people, with Freedom.
Yeah.
Freedom-
Freedom, great.
We're gonna
Freedom,
do a
great.
better Freedom than the Freedom that we did before.
I think with this album, I was when I was in college, it was being played in the library all the time, constantly. So I would end up hearing it while studying. It was on low, of course, but I would hear it over and over and over again. And I think hearing it over and over again, I kind of grew an appreciation instead of an irritation towards it. So I mean, I really do, love this album. But
I mean, I'm just glad to see him on the list because I think George Michael himself is just a very talented vocalist. So it's just nice to see him on a list.
The best.
The best.
yeah. Aren't we all?
Still waiting for Volume 2. Right?
Aren't
Yeah.
we all? He's all still waiting for Volume 2. AC/DC Back in Black. Come on now. Classic.
It's a
Iconic.
classic.
Yeah.
I think it should be a little
Either.
higher on the list. That's just my
Yeah.
opinion. It's a classic album. It's an album that you can play from start to end, and it's just a classic. It's
I remember about this album back in the day is this would be the album because I used to DJ at this place called Gecko's, and they would end up having this night called KNAC night because out here in Southern California, for those who don't know, who were from back east stuff, KNAC was like our pure heavy metal station, pure rock station. So that was one of the albums that was on the playlist for that night. We'd go ahead and we'd always play AC/DC. But the thing about that song, that one, and Danzig, She Rides. You played AC/DC or Danzig, She Rides, all the hoe bags would go out there and they start dancing on whatever poles they could find. They makeshift poles. And they would be dancing and stuff.
No,
Giving a hello to Aaron. Hey, Aaron.
Oh, what's up, Mr. Bizarro? Welcome to the room, big
First
guy.
off, you got it wrong. The hoe bags were dancing to Pour Some Sugar on Me by Def Leppard.
Yeah, like Zeppel said, KNC legendary radio station. Yeah, we used to, hand out stickers, the whole thing. I didn't do the same type of work that I did for K-Rock for KNC, but I would be there just, DJing, and their DJs would come in and stuff like that, and they would hand out stuff or whatever. But it was crazy. That was a crazy crowd. They still have a Facebook page where it's dedicated to, those nights and stuff, and they have reunions. It's fucking insane. It was insane. But anyways, moving along. A lot of albums to go. Lady Gaga, the Fame Monster. Lady Gaga, not a fan.
I like Lady
Not a fan.
Gaga. I like Lady Gaga. I mean, I was expecting to see her on this list. So yeah, I was expecting to see her. She's got a great vocal though. She got a great vocal range.
I have to say that not this album, but the album before, The Fame was a better album than this one.
Okay.
I like this album.
But this one is like a strong number second. You know, like this is the one that didn't fall into like the sophomore slump. So
yeah, the sophomore slump. Well, that's what they were. You know, speaking of that new Billie Eilish album, that's what they were saying about her new album is that a lot of people referred to "Happier Than Ever" as being that it was kind of like sophomore slumpish. Like it had a couple of high points, but it was really a sophomore slump if you really think about it. You know, but Nina Simone. Unfortunately, I do not know a whole lot about her. I do need to educate myself more on her, but I've heard a lot of like phenomenal stuff that she's like iconic.
A big legend, amazing artist. She definitely deserves.
Yeah, no, my dad, as I stated, my dad saw her at the Troubadour when she played out here at the Troubadour. She just got that one of a kind voice that you just really, when you hear it, you know it's Nina Simone, and definitely should be a little bit higher on this list. If I'm being honest with you, a little too low. She's got a unique voice. Oh man, too low on the list.
Now the thing I'm wondering,
too high.
I mean, the thing that I'm wondering is, on this list, were they trying to rank them, or were they just trying to fit them in? Like these are our top 100s, and it's not really any kind of a ranking.
I wish it was.
You know, it's just they're trying to fit them in.
Yeah.
Like they could consider her in the top 5, but it's just their ranking. They're trying to squeeze her in. It's all just the top 100. Let me see. Nick said Nina Simone is legendary. Got a bunch of her records. What is up, Kimba? Lovely Miss Kimba.
Saying hi to Kimba.
Hey, Kimba.
And then let's move right along. Massive Attack. Was a fan.
Yeah, I like Massive Attack. I mean, I only know that one song, I think, by them called Teardrop. But yeah, I gotta tell more.
Do you mean the theme song to House?
Yeah, because I used to love House. Let me explain. I used to love that show. I used to watch the show every week. Okay, that goes to show how much I know about Massive Attack. Carry on.
So carry on, moving right along. Mary J. Blige. I respect her. Not much for her. Like I said, not much for her.
She's got no more drama in her life.
Didn't she like get a divorce where like the guy like really ripped into her and got like a big alimony payment and a lot of money?
I mean, she can sing. I'm just not.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Can sing. I mean.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with Zepro here. I'm like kind of like pass. You know.
Pass.
Like,
I mean, a lot of.
She's cool, but she's not my thing.
A lot of middle school drama happened because of her when I was in school.
Casey Musgraves. She's like one of those people that's like Morrissey. Either you love her or you hate her. It's like, it doesn't seem like there's a gray area no in between with her. It's like, it just seems like that's what I've always come across. Like, you mention Casey Musgraves and like half the room's like, yeah. And then half the room's like, oh my gosh, she's so phenomenal. I'm neither here nor there with this.
I don't know much about her music. I know a couple of songs by her, but not enough to formulate
It's a good album. I liked it. Yeah. I have it. Yeah.
But Rage Against Machine is lower than her on the list. I just.
But like I said, this is the way I think we should approach this. Is like, I think we shouldn't see these as rankings. I'm going to give them that benefit of the doubt. Just see that they're just like trying to shove it into the list. Okay. Should it be on the list? Because I mean, they're not really. They don't formally say, well, this is a ranking. They just say the top 100 albums.
Yeah.
Well, or would that actually mean?
Yeah, I think it's a ranking.
That. Okay. Would that mean it's a ranking then?
Yeah. Well, Casey Musgraves, I don't know you very well, but yeah.
Okay, let's see. Dogs, come on now. W balls.
Come on.
It's an iconic album from the 90s.
It's a quintessential album. He is the undisputed king of the LBC.
When I chose my name for YouTube, Dusty Spins, you don't know how hard and how bad I had to fight myself not to call myself DJ Easy Dick. I could have been DJ Easy Dick. I'm pretty sure my channel would have been gone like in a month. But yeah, it crossed my mind. I'm like, oh damn.
This is a classic album. This is a classic album. It deserves to be on here. It's one of Snoop Dogg's best.
Tim Allen said of all time means the last 20 years max in 2024. Okay, let me go ahead and put out a link for you there, Tim, because I want you to come up and give us your opinion on this stuff.
There's some stuff on here, Tim, that are older than 20 years old. So yeah.
I mean, I know Tim's going to come up here and be like, "Oh, no, pass, no, pass." There you go, Tim. If you want to come up,
but this is a quintessential hip hop album. This is the album that everybody loved in the 90s by him. So.
Definitely. I mean, it's the album that introduces to Nate Dogg.
Yep.
You know,
Nate Dogg.
Stuff like that. So, I mean, yeah. Come on now.
Yeah.
Fucking phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Yeah.
If this was a ranking, that should be way, way higher.
Yeah, I agree.
But 100%. There's so many freaking albums. It's like, we were discussing her last night. Weren't we? Yeah, we were talking about her last night.
Yeah, no, this album...
No. We were talking about Patty Smythe.
Ah.
Oh.
The lead singer of, what was that band?
Scandal?
Scandal, yeah.
Okay, there we go.
This needs to be higher.
Easy makes it classic. Okay. The one who would turn around was saying all that stuff about P. Diddy, and actually it turned out that everything he said was true.
You know what? This is what I gotta say about 50 Cent. Fuck no, let's move on. I don't like 50 Cent.
Yeah, not my thing either. Not my thing either. We can move on with that. Another classic album, Neil Young. Yep. I mean, if Charlie was here, Charlie would be like, "That's one of the greatest albums, man."
After the gold rush, it's Neil Young, man.
Yeah, Neil Young, fucking awesome. I mean, Neil Young, not my cup of tea. I have a couple of albums in my collection, you know. But, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I don't really have too much I can add on that, you know.
I recently got that album because Harry was doing an auction, and I was like, I need that album, and he had it for a good price. So I bought it. It's a fantastic album. It's worth having in a collection if you're, you know.
Hey, Bill. AZ Mix said classic. Okay. He said, I'm assuming the pass was for 50 Cent. Trish said, great Neil album.
Got a pass on 50.
Boo! The girl that sang for Scandal was a potential replacement for you. There, that's what we were talking. That's what we were talking about last night.
Yeah,
actually, I think,
yeah, that's what Tim said. Yeah,
that's what we were talking about. We were talking about that she was a potential replacement for Van Halen. And I think we were also talking about how like Edward Van Halen almost joined Kiss or something of that sort, or he wanted to join Kiss.
Yeah.
And I'm like kind of thinking like if he wanted to join Kiss, I'm thinking Gene Simmons would have took him. Because Gene Simmons would have been like, oh, well, just think about the earning potential and everything else, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like Blue Cheer won't be on this list. Probably not.
No, they're not going to have Psychedelic on this list. I'm sorry, or Prog. Probably.
What is up, Mr. Hanyadi? He says, fantastic album.
Hey, Tom.
Say, Kimba.
Tom just saw Neil Young the other night. Yeah.
Oh, he did? Sweet.
Yeah. Well,
sweet.
I see a teaser to what's... yeah, I kind of expected he was going to be on this list.
Good album for the time. Now that I'm older, not a good album to me. You know, it's like now that I'm like, now that I'm 52, I probably would not put this album in my CD player or put it on my turntable and spin it. No. But at the time, I thought it was a pretty awesome album. You know?
When I was young, I was an Eminem, but I've changed.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's written a lot of great albums after this, way later in his career. You know, definitely freaking talented. Nobody else could fucking top him when it comes to speed rap. But, you know, But this album, not anymore. No. But at one time, Okay. Lana Del Rey, not with it. You guys take over. I think you guys are. You're not into Lana Del Rey?
No. Fucking bloody hell. Pass.
I'm not. Not a fan.
Why the hell is she? Oh,
Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. This is like. This is like the cornerstone of anyone's vinyl collection. I'm pretty sure everybody in this freaking room has a copy of this in their freaking their
collapse. I finally got a copy of that album. I finally got a copy.
I sadly don't, but I've been looking.
No, Fred sent me a copy.
Don't? Okay.
No, but I've been wanting to add it.
I mean, if you think about it, the title track "Goodbye Yellow Brick Road" is just fantastic. The different progressions of chords in that song. It's Elton John. Should be fucking higher on here. I'm sorry. I said it.
Well, yeah, most definitely. But like I said, I'm trying to approach this thinking that they are not ranking, that they are Just telling you what
I
their
hope
top
so.
100
I
are.
hope so. I hope so.
I hope so. Because I haven't read anything where they said, no, this is our ranking.
But anyways, I love that album.
Let me see. AZ Mix said Elton Gold. Tom Hunyadi said everyone should have this LP. Definitely.
Yes, I agree.
Definitely. Madonna, great freaking
yes.
album. One of her stronger albums.
So much.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Not only are the hit songs are great, like Cherish and Express Yourself and like Prayer, but you also have like some of the album tracks like Dear Jesse and Put That to Us Part, Keep It Together. Fantastic album.
Not a big Madonna fan.
And as it says there, right across her crotch, it says a digital recording, which at the time was a big deal.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead. Hey, what is up? Tim is in the room. What's happening, Tim?
Hey, Tim.
What's up?
Yeah.
I remember at one time that was a big deal. It said a digital recording. We would get excited. It'd be like, oh, all digital. Now you say digital and people like start freaking pooping themselves.
Yeah.
They're like, what? No, how dare you digital?
Get the fuck away from me.
All analog. We are all analog here.
I mean, she's very talented in her own right. Fuck Bad Bunny.
No.
Sorry. No.
Bad Bunny?
No.
No, I can't get with
That's
it.
a no.
What
Move
the
on.
hell?
Yeah,
I've
move
only
on.
never heard of half of these albums, which means how can you be all time if there are people that have never even heard of them?
Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
This is
strong debut though. Strong debut though. I will give it strong debut.
It's a good album.
No.
Missy Elliott is a legend now. Missy Elliott, she's a rap legend now. I mean, she's been around for like what, almost close to 30 years now.
I mean, she said
she's been around for a while.
She said the iconic iconic line, put the thing in, reverse it.
Their fucking magnum opus, man. This one right here, The Downward Spiral. Yeah. This album's so freaking awesome. This album was recorded in the Sharon Tate house before they tore it down. This was like the last. They were the last people to actually rent the house, and he took the door that they actually wrote Pig on. Trent Reznor took it, and he took it to New Orleans, and he had a studio that was called Les Pig Studios, which now, when I was younger, and in college, I was like, oh, I thought that was like cool. It was like, whoa, wow, now that I'm older, I think about it like how tasteless it is now. It was pretty tasteless, to do that. But they say who they are, I don't know. But if you listen to the album closely, that Trent Reznor, which could have just been, promotion, they say that you can hear things on the album that they did not put there. And they do not know how it ended up on the recording. Supposedly, this album and also Marilyn Manson's Portrait of an American Family were recorded in the Sharon Tate house. And supposedly Marilyn Manson's album, Portrait of an American Family, same thing. You can hear things that are on there that they can't explain how they ended up there.
Yeah, but this album definitely deserves to be there.
Speaking of tasteless, another little tidbit. The music video for Gave Up, which is Off the Downward Spiral. 9 Inch Nails did the music video in the room that Sharon Tate was murdered in. And the console, they have the console exactly where the couch was, where she was murdered, where they had the American flag on the couch, and over the console they have an American flag. Which, at the time, like I said, when I was younger, I thought it was cool. Now that I'm older, I find that it was very tasteless.
It's creepy.
It was tasteless. It's
just no.
Asia.
Yeah.
I love the fucking album. There's people at the VC who hate this album.
Well, who cares what they think? This album is a 10.
I love me some Asia.
You have a lot of people that will turn around and tell you that if you're going to test your system out and see if it sounds good, play Asia. That's one of the albums. I mean, there's a lot of other albums, of course, that I just wish I just wish that someone could tell me why the fuck is Can't Buy a Thrill such an expensive album to get. I don't know, maybe the rights.
Yeah, because I went to the record store at Coachella, and the guy had about 5 or 6 copies, and he was selling each and every copy for $25, and they're all either reissues or originals. But it was like, why is it that even reissues are hella expensive? It's like, what was so special about Can't Buy a Thrill that it warrants such a high price?
that guy. That guy likes that album. It's not.
Yeah, no, because I found it. I found it for cheap.
My,
I found it for
Mhm.
cheap, but I never
my,
picked it up.
my problem with Asia is that if you bloat every song by 2 minutes, you can do a whole album and only write 7 songs. That's my problem with Asia. I, seriously, seriously.
Uh-huh.
That's why I don't like about prog and stuff. Look, we've got this. We wrote one song and we play it for half an hour and it's a whole side of a record. Well, you're not getting your money's worth. You know, you're getting one song. You only get one side has 3 songs, one side has 4 songs. They should be briefer and have more songs. That's my problem.
Um,
But it belongs compared to most what else I've seen. It belongs on the list. I'm not saying.
Yeah.
Pauline, so you're looking for a Can't Buy Me a Thrill?
Yeah.
Okay, because I know that I see them at Left of the Dial all the time. I could probably pick you one for like $5 or $6. So if next time I see it, I'll pick it up and send one to you.
Awesome.
Because I come across them all the time. Because I know that Bill Michelle gets them a lot.
And can I talk about the audiophile thing a second? I know that's not what
Sure.
we're doing. But
Mm-hmm.
if you want to test a record for your sound system, your sound system sounds good. I think it should be a record that's similar to whatever you listen to. If you don't listen to stuff like Asia, playing Asia to see what your
Mhm.
sound system sounds like isn't going to do you any good. If you listen to the Ramones, you should put a good sounding punk record on and see what it sounds. You know, it should be what you listen to. It shouldn't be just some great audiophile record because the rest of your records don't sound like that, and it won't be what your system sounds like.
Yeah, most definitely. No, I agree with that because I mean, you're thinking about that's going to be the type of music you're going to play. So it's like that's the type of that's what you're going to want your stereo to respond to. So it's like,
Exactly.
well, yeah.
I put on a VG record. Seriously, I have a Beatle record. That's one of the first records I ever bought when I was in Buffalo. It's a Meet the Beatles record. And it's probably VG to VG plus, and I put that on because it's not a great sounding record. But if this turntable and this cartridge and everything makes it sound pretty good, then this is gonna work for me. You know, and if it sounds like crap, then it's not. You know, where a great sounding record is going to sound pretty good on anything.
I had not recently, probably a couple of months ago, I had gotten a copy of Band of Gypsies, Jimi Hendrix. And I was like, I finally had gotten around to listen to it. I hadn't cleaned it or anything. It just looked really, really clean to me, so I didn't bother to clean it yet, which is probably a bad mistake. I should not be running my needle through that shit.
No.
My stylus. But I was playing it, and it had so much snap, crackle, and pop. I mean, it was just like, it had a lot of noise. But the thing is, to me, it's like I kind of was enjoying the noise for some reason. I don't know. I was just grooving with it. And it's like, it didn't seem like the noise was so like overpowering where it was taking away from music. It was just kind of like, it felt kind of like a retro trip for me, kind of thing.
Cleaning a record can help. And then if it doesn't help, it's probably been played on an old turntable with it's had like a 9-ounce stylus, not necessarily a new Crosley, sorry, but a 60s turntable that had a lot of weight on it, and needle was never changed, and the record can look fine, but it's not.
Yeah, I mean, more than likely, I'm going to clean it. I haven't cleaned it yet.
Yeah,
no.
I'm sorry I stopped your flow.
No problem. Okay, moving right along. Next, don't really care about her. I'm not into her.
I like SZA, but I'm just surprised to see her here.
No,
I haven't listened to this album yet, and it's fairly new, so I don't know why it's on this list when it's.
Yeah, it came out like.
The record should be at least 10 years old.
I mean, that album came out like last year.
Need some time to lay and
because if you think about it, this album came out in like 2022 or 2023, so this album is fairly recent. So to see this album on a list, it's kind of an odd choice.
Well, I mean, even though he's a douchebag, Anthony Fantano, that was one thing that he said. He said that he listens to an album anywhere between 5 and 10 times before he does a record review.
Yeah.
He'll listen to it like 5 or 10 times all the way through before he even forms an opinion.
Yeah.
Stuff like that of it. So, actually, Easy Mick, I think that's what it is. He said, get the Robert Ludwig Lime Green Capital Bet. That's what this one is, Capital Lime Green. So it might be worth saving, hopefully. Hopefully. So moving on. Kraftwerk, Transdrip Express. I don't know if this was the album that was probably like the main album that was like so influential, or if it was like the Man Machine. But I mean, this ends up having its place, especially like inspiring a lot of bands. You know, you can't call this krautrock.
No. I mean, it's great when you think about it. They're like one of the early pioneers of EDM music, electronic music.
Yeah.
I mean, and this one is great. Man Machine, Autobahn. You really can't go wrong with Kraftwerk.
Mm-hmm.
You can't.
Yeah.
And I've been trying to find Autobahn. If you ever come across it, let me know, people. I've been trying to find it for my collection.
Why
Autobahn? Because I found it 2 times at a record store, and they both didn't have the album in it. So now I'm on a quest to find it with the actual record inside. It's like they don't want me to find it.
Why is this one on the list?
I know. It's because they want to be edgy, right? They want to be edgy with this list. Let's put some Autobahn.
Okay. Another influential album, most definitely. This album, I think, was just basically a reflection of its time.
It is.
In my
opinion.
opinion.
It definitely is.
It's what was really going on in that part of the world during the time. And stuff like that. I mean, that I grew, like I said, where I grew up, it's like we kind of had like the gang violence problem over there.
Yeah.
But we didn't have a full-on gang violence problem. So like this kind of like gave me a glimpse into what was going on over on the other. I mean, if you really think about it, where I grew up in, in Norwalk, Whittier area.
Yeah.
So it's like, that was like not too far from us, Compton and all that stuff. So it was like kind of giving me a glimpse of what was going on over there. But then again, it scared the shit out of us because we're like going, oh my God, that's what's going on right over there. Like, let's not go over there. I remember one time, and I'm killing the flow here. I went with one of my friends because we smoked a lot of weed, and he used to deliver papers late at night. And he would go like fill up all these paper bins and stuff like that. And then one time he took me into Compton. And because of this album, I was so scared shit when we went to go fill up those paper bins. So I was like, I'm like, where are we? He's all, we're in Compton. I'm like, we're going to get shot. He's all, dude, you heard the record too, huh?
Yeah,
he's like, relax.
I drove through Compton. I didn't get shot. I survived.
He's all, only if you start proms are you going to get hurt over here. Master of Puppets. Of all their...
Whoa.
I'm kind of like trying to be careful with that because with Metallica, it's like the run of the first 4 albums, most definitely were like the best. I wouldn't say Master of Puppets is one of the better ones. Last one with Cliff, I think it was with Cliff Burton, wasn't it? Yeah, last one with Cliff Burton. But I mean, you got to think you have like Kill 'Em All. Yeah. You have Ride the Lightning.
Yep.
Then you have Master of Puppets. Those are like the first 3. And then you had And Justice for All. I mean, there was so many influential albums they came out with. Metallica is like everything up to the Load. When they got to the Load era, then I was kind of like, okay, I kind of like dropped off.
Yeah. Metallica fans are very faithful, so I kind of be careful what I'm saying.
But this many years later for that album, for that song to pop back up, that's saying something.
Yeah.
They put it in one episode of Stranger Things, and that album like starts charting again.
Yep.
And they're trying. Kids are trying to run out and buy copies of it.
I mean, it's bringing them back into the spotlight, into the limelight, and more people are discovering it. So that's good.
Awesome album, The Strokes. I've always loved The Strokes. Everything they've done
is fantastic. This is. I remember when I bought this album. I was in high school, I think, maybe senior year of high school. I had went and bought this on CD. This album from start to finish is fantastic. Of course, this album omits the song New York City Cops because they thought it was controversial to have that song on the album. But I don't be pleased. It's a variant of it that has New York City Cops, and I need to get it. But I love the Strokes. I mean, this album deserves to be on here.
They brought back the garage band.
Yeah, exactly.
The garage sound,
Yeah,
the first album was fantastic.
A lot of people did it before they did.
I know,
well, you had like the Hives too. You had like the Hives, the Strokes,
yeah,
a lot of
Hives.
in it.
Yeah. But it's just a very influential album for the early 2000s. That's what I think.
I think it's okay. I don't like their later stuff at all.
Oh, yeah, their latest album.
I bought their last album and I sold it. And I almost got what I paid for it used. So I was like, yes.
Don't know much about Portishead, but I
I was about to say the same thing here.
I mean, I've heard of the
song. I
Negros.
can't even remember what it was.
Mm-hmm.
One song I really liked, their hit, whatever it was.
I know that Portishead's considered very influential also. I've heard about, especially, I've heard about them a lot, but I've never really heard anything by them.
Yeah.
It's just I've never really. They've never
that whole chill thing going on in the late '90s and early 2000s.
Oh, like they're like sneaker pimps.
Visa comps and stuff.
Yeah.
It's that kind of thing, which is okay. It has its place.
I mean, they just kind of remind me of sneaker pimps when I think about them. That kind of chill, kind of rock.
But next, we're going to Lisa's favorite album.
Fuck you.
Take me out tonight.
Oh.
Take me anywhere. Don't
Okay.
care, Lisa.
First off, let me defend myself before I start coughing. I don't hate the Smiths. I don't hate the Smiths. Now you got me coughing. I don't hate the Smiths.
Wait. Oh, you own this record, right?
No.
Oh, wait. Oh, so you did pick up this album, right?
No.
Wait, what record was it you did pick up? You had this in your hand, though, didn't you? You had this in your hand, didn't you? Oh, that's right. She took home the One Direction. But anyways, awesome fucking album. Yeah. This was like my introduction to the Smiths, actually. I did the whole video on my channel about the Smiths stuff, but this was the first one I ever got. I got it on a cassette, played the shit out of it, And then I think after I got this album was when Strange Ways Here We Come had just come out.
Yeah.
It had just come out, I think like maybe a month or two afterwards. And I went and I bought that one, and I was just like a Smiths fan for life. And then I went and I bought everything. Smiths, all 4 albums. So yeah. Hey, what is up, Eddie? Eddie's Physical Media Talk in the house.
Hey, Eddie.
So yeah, but like I said, when it comes to any group, if you don't have them, I'm not going to call you musically ignorant. I just kind of look at you strange.
But if I had to say, but to your testament, if I had to pick a Smiths album, I'd pick this album.
Yeah.
Even though I don't own it, I would. You guys are. Okay,
now this album, when this album first came out, I had a cassette of it.
Yeah.
I think I bought it for me, myself, and I, like a bunch of kids did at that time.
Yeah.
Did not really think this album was going to be much. Potholes in My Lawn, a lot of those songs. I liked the album. Did not think it was going to be, very much. And now this album is like considered like the iconic, legendary album. Everybody loves it so much.
I mean, it deserves to be on there.
Yeah, I don't think I've listened to this album since like 1991, probably around
basically
92,
when it came out.
Yeah, basically when it came out. I've listened to Potholes in My Lawn a couple of times because somebody else was playing or whatever. But yeah, I'm not too much for De La Soul. I mean, I do respect them. Their place in the culture, and their place in the genre. But just not a fan myself personally. And I don't think most of the people on this panel we're not rap people really.
No,
I'm pretty
really.
sure if Pumping Vinyl was here, he'd let us know because he's really into
one rap album in the top 100. Not one.
What is up, Mr. Invisible Ray? Invisible Ray is here too. He said, "Strange Ways, Strange Ways, Here We Come." Most definitely one of the stronger albums. Fun Boy 3. Fun Boy 3. That was the lead singer from the Specials. Was the Fun Boy 3? He pass away. He passed away last year.
Yeah.
Erykah Badu.
This was a kind of a good album when it came out, but no.
I mean, it's a decent album.
I do recognize that she's an influential artist. There's a time that I did like her music.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go, Ray. Terry Hall.
Kind of faded throughout the time.
But we got bad ism through her.
Erykah Badu was kind of like she came in during that whole kind of like there was the fusion between jazz and R&B type thing. They were trying to do the R&B singer type thing. Her and Jill Scott. I mean, Jill Scott I love. Don't get me wrong. Jill Scott, I own a lot of her albums because Jill Scott's just my thing. I have a thing about her. Erykah Badu, not so much. Know some of the main songs, stuff like that, but that's probably about all. Jimi Hendrix Experience. Everybody's got this one too. Another one. Everybody's either you got a reissue or you have an original or you have an old crusty version. Everybody
I got it.
Yeah. You know, so
need we say more? It's just
I don't think there's anything more we can say about that. I mean, everybody here has their own opinion of it. I don't think I'm not gonna change my opinion of anybody else. Change anybody else's opinion. So it is what it is. Tupac.
Culturally, yes, yeah. It's earned its place.
My cousin, when he was like in middle school, he used to always play that Changes song, and we would be playing our Super NES. So yeah, that's how I got into Tupac, because he would play that song so much over and over. And you know who he sampled in that song? The guy whose album I didn't get because Amanda's prom photos was in it.
Bruce Hornsby. I was watching some other. I was half asleep. I was watching some documentary on TV where they were talking about like some band or whatever. And they started talking about Bruce Hornsby being involved with it or whatever. And I was like half asleep, and I was just like kind of, even in my sleep, I was kind of like, I kind of chuckled to myself. Every time I hear Bruce Hornsby, I like kind of chuckle.
I mean,
Tupac.
That's just the way it is.
That's just the way. Some things will never change.
As soon as you sample something, for me, it shouldn't even be considered to be in the top 100 albums because you stole, and it's not your album. It's, you know.
But that's the thing they do.
I feel about. That's why I don't like modern music.
That's the thing they do with hip hop artists is they sample a lot of things.
I know, and so it doesn't count for me. And you're taking somebody else's material and using it. So give them the credit, not you. Put Bruce Hornsby on there instead. You know, I mean, that's just what I feel about it.
Tupac is one of those people that it's like, I know we're talking about it last night, but it's like, I have a greatest hits and I'm good enough with that.
I mean, I do
I have like a 2
song.
CD set that has everything.
I do like the song Dear Mama. So. I like that song. That's a good one.
You know, but yeah. Sade. Love Sade. Always have loved Sade. I have all of her albums on vinyl.
Me too.
Yeah. So it's like, so her, you can't talk bad about her. I mean, even though she has a very unusually large forehead. But Sade is another one of those that I've heard in certain circles where I know we heard what Tim said about testing out stereo systems, but she's another one that they say you should use her music to test out your stereo system.
She is Vinylize approved.
There you go. Vinylize loves her.
Another reason to vote no.
Vinyl Eyes loves her. He loves her.
I don't like the 80s, and I just don't. And so most of the stuff is 80s or 80s info. That's my problem with music today. I think one of it. It's a lot of it is 80s influence, and I don't like the 80s. I take it.
You know, I take it during the 80s. Like I just picture Tim in bars with a beer, looking at the jukebox and just snarling, going, "Ah."
Some of the edgier MTV stuff and the stuff without all the synths was okay, but I also liked a lot of. I got into garage. I discovered garage bands in the 80s. You know, I mean, there was a garage band revival. And I discovered the Nuggets album, and that's where I was at in the 80s. You know, R.E.M. was okay. I liked the Bangles. The Pretenders were good. You know, there was some. Petty was okay. Replacements were great. You know, there was some, but not like that.
You know, that's sax music. I'm assuming that he means remove the A and replace it with an E is what I'm assuming. Probably more likely. That's sax music. Great album. I own it, but another thing, I'm not really a big, Velvet Underground fan.
Yeah.
You know, I've listened to it because that's like one of those things where I kind of like force fed it to myself, and I did learn to love this album because it was like one of those things. Well, it's just one of those things when I was younger, a lot of people in the town, you don't like that? What's wrong with you? How could you say you're a music fan?
Top 10. It's been in my top. I'm not sure if it still is, but it's been in my top 10. I think it's a fantastic album.
Woo. Okay, now Tom, is that this album you're talking about? Tom's like overrated.
Not overrated at all. It's listen to Heroin. I mean, Heroin is a heroin withdrawal. I mean, you couldn't get any closer in song. People think Cold Turkey is a heroin withdrawal. No, listen to Heroin. That's a heroin.
When you listen to that song, it like drags you down. There's so many levels to dragging you. It's like.
And actually,
it's real. That's what I like about it. It's real.
And the story about Cold Turkey by Plastic Ono Band is that John Lennon didn't write it about it going through cold turkey. He wrote it because he ate some leftover Thanksgiving turkey and it was cold, and he had the upset stomach, and it had him on the runs.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And your opinion, Lisa? She has no opinion. Never mind. Okay, we'll get back to you later. We'll get back to you later,
That's
Lisa.
my favorite album.
I like
get to
the
that
album.
later,
Favorite
people.
I like
you
the
album. A
album.
lot of people like other ones better, but
I like the album.
Of course, she likes the album. It has a banana on it. It's not
Yeah.
electric, but
I mean, back
AM
then,
Arctic Monkeys. Fucking awesome album.
only Arctic Monkeys album I have, and I did not like it. Sorry.
Really? Arctic? I
I
was a casual Arctic Monkeys fan before. And to tell you the truth, I don't know what my kids, why this happens, but my kids go on these kicks where a couple of years in a row, they'll turn around and they'll pick like one, or actually, I'm sorry, my middle son who's autistic, he'll turn around and he'll pick one certain band, and that he'll like buy me that whole catalog over time. So it'll be like, for Christmas, I'll get one of their albums. For my birthday, I'll get one of their albums. For Father's Day, I'll get one of their albums. And he eventually does that till I get that whole catalog. He did that with the Gorillaz. He wanted to kick with the Gorillaz, where he bought me all the Gorillaz albums. Well, one year, he had started with the Arctic Monkeys. I don't know where he got this from, but he bought me every single Arctic Monkeys album over time. So I kind of like gathered them up, wasn't really listening to them. And I think it was on one of the streams that I did. I pulled out one of the Arctic Monkeys albums, and I played it. And I was like listening to it along with everybody else. I was really enjoying it, really getting into it. So then I went, I like pulled them all out, and I was starting to listen to them. Now I'm like a rabid Arctic Monkeys fan. I love Arctic Monkeys.
He bought you the Hotel Base Tranquility album?
Which one? Yeah.
Oh, that's a piece of shit. Sorry. But anyways, back to the but this album
I didn't think it was that bad.
No, this album
album.
is great. I think this was, Arctic Monkeys just reclaiming their music, and I like the debut album.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but no.
Okay, let's see. What's the story, Morning Glory? I do not like Oasis.
Beatles wannabe.
For a modern album, but for me, a '90s album is a modern album. I put that on the list. I would.
Mm-hmm.
I like Oasis. Too bad the brothers couldn't make up and do music anymore.
I think it is just for me. It's like one of those things where I guess I should have let the music speak for itself, but it's like I think their attitudes just like totally turned me off. Where I didn't even want to open my ears to their music, even though I do own this album. I think I own like a few of their albums on CD that I picked up for like $1 a piece, because you turn around like at $1 you go, okay, I'll give it a listen, see if I like it. But they end up on the shelf, and I haven't really.
The thing I always say about to defend Oasis is their third album. Their third album was a collection of B-sides already. It's only their third album, and they've already got enough amazing. And it's one of their 3 best albums. They've already got enough amazing material from B-sides to make a third album already. I mean, they were hot, and then they started going downhill after that, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Their real third album was a slight fall. The first 2 and the comp.
This album, I actually, the song Untitled, How Does It Feel? I use that song as a joke. So it's like, that's the only reason why I really know this album is like, it was like the video where he's like got his shirt off, and it's like going all the way down to where you almost get above his pecker. So it's like, it's a how does it feel? It was a joke song for me. So, but the album itself, I've never really listened to it.
I mean, if this was a list of top 10 baby making albums, you better be on there, D'Angelo.
Never heard one thing by this person.
He's R&B. Strong R&B.
I love R&B. I had a thing with R&B in the 90s. That's all I bought. My sister was annoyed by it, but hey.
Ray! It's not artificially black. There's black people on the list, of course.
Come on, Ray.
Black artists. Come on now, Ray. Let's see. Did I miss Britney Spears' greatest hits? I do not think you did.
No.
Do not think you did. Let me stay here.
Around.
Then there. Freaking awesome album. Cure Disintegration. Sorry, fucking one of their strongest albums, I think.
Yep.
I really, really fucking like this. I saw them live during this era. I think there was like during this era was one of the first times I saw them live. I think was during Disintegration. I mean, they've had a lot of like high points in their career. I mean, like, of course, Three Imaginary Boys. I like the debut album. Love that one. Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me is like a hard listen for me. It's like sometimes I'll listen to it. If I'm really in the mood, I'll listen to it all the way through. Not often. Head on the Door, of course. You know, I listen to that album all the way through. Stuff like that. But Disintegration is one of those that I listen to all the way through and I don't have to force myself to listen to it. You know, some of the other albums, though, I do find them hard listens. Like, 17 Seconds, Faith, sometimes, stuff like that.
Great album.
Nick said, love that Cure record. Also saw that tour. Yeah. The Pixies opened up for them on that tour. What? I saw my Dodger Stadium and the Pixies opened up.
The double one. That's the only Cure album I've ever owned.
That might be Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me. The one with the lips on the cover? Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only one I've ever. I'm not. My ex-wife was a big Cure fan. I'm not a big Cure fan. But I thought that album was okay.
Now, see, this is the thing about Invisible Ray is that me and him, like his music, his taste in music, we kind of like share the same taste. It's like I've like watched when he like plays music. I'm like, oh shit, I remember that song. Oh, I like that song. He said Frankie Goes to Hollywood. I thought they were a good band. Two albums done and they were in and done. It was like Welcome to the Pleasure Dome, Liverpool, done.
Yeah, but I mean, the first album, you can't take it seriously. They could have made that a single record, and it probably would have been one of the best albums of the 80s. But they put all this filler crap and stuff on it, made it a double, and it loses its, credibility, really.
Hey, Steven, this is what we were saying earlier. I think before you got here, Steven, is we were trying to say, was this album actually a ranking, or was this just their 100 albums? Like they just put 100 albums together. I'm trying to like look at it like, okay, this isn't a ranking, because if this is a ranking, I'd be pretty upset.
Yeah.
It's like if this was ranking, upset. I'd be like,
I've only seen one record from the 60s, nothing from the 50s, and it says all time, and I'm like, how can that be? So, you're telling me there hasn't been one Beatle record. So all of these records are better than any Beatle record. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think this is a ranking because I don't think they would do this to themselves. I mean, I think that this is just 100 albums that they chose.
Yeah.
Are that, out of like, they took all these artists, like I said, they took all the artists, they took all these engineers, they took all these people in the industry.
Yeah.
And all the albums they said, okay, we'll write that one. No, let me write that one. Oh, let me write that one.
Okay.
Yeah. Next.
Move along.
I knew they had to have her in here, because it's Rihanna, but I'm not a Rihanna fan. To me, she's one of those another one of those manufactured artists. I'm not down with it. I'm not down with it.
Move along like I know you.
So yeah, Rihanna, I'm just not into her. Allah Supreme, John Coltrane. Okay, this album is going to be one of those. It's going to be like people will be talking about till the end of time, and even after that, after we're long gone. Our kids, grandkids are going to be hearing about this. They're going to be like having hologram live streams talking about this album.
With this album, he has better albums, in my opinion. That's my problem with Love Supreme. It's a fine album, but he has better albums.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Tom said Love Supreme is my favorite album. Beatles stuff not included.
Well, he has better work than that.
Nathaniel Martin says it is officially a ranking. There is a separate article on Apple Music with him discussing the top. So God damn.
Oh, God damn it.
Where got to come in here and just like, you got to rate him a brain.
God damn it.
I'm like, God damn it. That was good. Ray's all rubbish, of course. I don't think Ray's not into jazz, is he? He just doesn't like jazz.
Exactly, Trekker.
Classic Coltrane. DJ Trish says, I only like the song Shut Up and Drive. He said, DJ.
Like I said, this better Coltrane. That's my problem.
This list was voted on by someone under 40, and I'm pretty sure that Tim would agree with you.
Yep.
Yeah. I think under 30. I don't think there's anybody over 30 that.
Next.
One of their strongest. Definitely one of their strongest. Not their best, but definitely one of their strongest.
Not their best, but,
I'm more of an 80s Rolling Stone man myself. No, I'm just kidding. We were joking about that the other night. I was like, anything with the Rolling Stones and neon outfits, I'm there.
Give me back your VC card.
I'm like, oh, anything with the Stones and influential album. Has it aged well? Probably not. No. Now, the thing about this album, and I've always thought so, and I always thought that it was just my audio equipment that I was playing it on, because I had a shitty cassette, shitty boombox. I always thought this album sounded like shit. Okay? I recently got the remaster, the remaster on vinyl, and I have a fairly expensive turntable, and I have a fairly expensive stylus. I played it back, still sounds like shit. But, Raw Energy, great album. I just think that it was recorded like shit. This album really seriously needs a remaster. It needs a remaster, but who knows if it'll happen. I don't know. Let me see. Go on next. Anybody else have anything else to say about Appetite for Destruction?
Next.
No.
Okay, you're up next. Next. Sign of the Times. Strong album. His best. A lot of people say this is magnum opus. They'll say this is even more of his magnum opus than Purple Rain, So.
Yeah.
Or it should have been.
I don't agree. I never got this. I have this album. I never got it. There's a couple good songs on it, but I didn't get it.
DJ, I haven't made a cassette to it. Oh yeah, DJ Invisible Ray is asking DJ Church, can you make a cassette of of the 100 top albums? Some Girls, my favorite Stones album, but I do know that there's a difference between favorite and best. Oh yeah. Appetite, Prince. Getting through some of these right here. So, and Lisa, where'd Lisa go? Oh, Lisa had to go poop. Okay, anyways. Kate Bush, Hounds of Love. Kate Bush.
No. I love Kate Bush. Again, I don't think that's her best album, but it's her best selling album, so I guess I get why it's there.
The only reason why this album is on this list is because, Running Up the Hill was on Stranger Things.
No, this album was really, really big.
I will do better, Ray. I will do better.
She had at least 3 videos, maybe 4 from this album on MTV in constant rotation. This album was big. But again,
apparently one of those videos was filmed at Abbey Road Studios.
It's not her best though. I like her first album, but I do like Kate Bush though.
Easy Mick. I'm not familiar with the Bush.
I do Kate Bush.
Okay, U2 the Joshua Tree. Okay, U2 the Joshua Tree. Strong album. I think one of their best albums before they started the decline. So I'm sorry, a lot of albums after this I felt were the decline.
It's in the top. Maybe not. I don't think so, but it's in the top 3. That'd be my 3rd favorite U2 album, probably.
No, I'm wrong. Because Octung Baby was a good album. It was a good album.
Yeah.
So maybe after Octung Baby, I would say, because there was a period there where a lot of crap came out. U2 made a lot of crap.
Well, I think like a lot of their 80s stuff was very strong. Like Boy, Unforgettable Fire, this one, War, I think, yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing them on this tour.
The album is All That You Can't Leave Behind. I know I'm alone there, but I think that's a damn near perfect record.
All That You Can't Leave Behind?
Yep. I like every song on it. I think they're all winners. And then the next album, unfortunately, wasn't a third as good. And then it's been really downhill since then. But yeah,
I'm not going to argue with that because I haven't really given All That You Can't Leave You Can't Leave Behind a really, really good listen through. So I'll try to give you that a really good listen through, and then I'll go ahead and I'll get back to you. But
I also think that was the best tour that they ever did was on that album.
Steven Shitty said, "Boy, is still my favorite U2 album," but that is probably because it's the first I heard. So probably more than likely. Okay, so moving right along. 48. Yeah. Paul's Boutique, Beastie Boys. Beastie Boys, basically, they can't do anything wrong. Beastie Boys, was I a major fan? Not a major fan. Was not a major fan. I kind of fell off after License to Ill. A lot of these albums I did listen to. Did I purchase them? No. But it seems like I somehow always ended up with copies of them. So I don't know. But, they're like the... Everything cool. Everything cool. It's like they can't do anything wrong,
Yeah. Yep, they deserve to be on here.
No, cool doesn't mean good in my opinion, so I'd say
I like
Yeah.
the BC Boys.
you get why they're there, but I never got them. I never never will.
Tom Hunyadi said it's the hipster pick, not their best. Yeah, I bought Paul's Boutique the day it came out. Classic. Okay, I'm thinking he's talking about the U2 album that we mentioned. I'm going to listen to it right now.
U2 is classic.
Okay, let's see. Drake, moving right along. I am not a Drake fan. I do not like him.
First off, let me say something about Drake. Wrong album to be on the list. It should have been the other album that he did. You're reading this is too late. And one more thing I want to say. Kendrick has won the beef between him and Drake. Kendrick won hand down. Okay, go back to what you're doing.
Okay.
What the fuck is that picture?
That's what happens when you stop us for Drake. So there you go.
I had to somewhat defend him, okay?
Great album, Exodus. Oh.
Yep.
Going back to the Boutique album, Stephen Schnee said Paul's Boutique was trashed by the press when it first came out. It was not as commercially successful as expected. It only became popular a few years later. Okay. Kimber said Drake is trash. Don't know Drake. Exodus definitely a winner.
Yep.
Exodus, I bet Tim got mashed up to that one a few times. Sound Marley awesome.
Nope.
I think we all got well, I mean, I got trashed Exodus a couple times. Yeah, I mean, Exodus is like, another one of those albums. What more can you say about it? It's like, I think it was one of the stronger albums, most definitely. I know that this was one of the albums that I got during the 90s when I was buying up like all vinyl, like really cheap. And I think this was like the main, even besides Legend, this is probably the album that I was playing over and over and over again. So yeah, I mean, Exodus, the title track, most definitely. Totally fucking strong track. So,
Movement of Ja People. That's right, man.
Yeah, movement of Ja People. Bjork, not a fan. Totally.
I don't know much about her. But I own this album on CD. Won it in a VC contest.
Bjork, homogenic. This, I saw her with the Sugar Cubes. I saw her on the strangest fucking tour at Irvine Meadows Amphitheater, not far from my house here. It was the Sugar Cubes, PIL, Gene Loves Jezebel in New Order. Don't tell me who put together this tour. I have no idea. But that was the tour. And they kind of like traded off like opening, whatever. While PIL, Gene Loves Jezebel and New Order traded off opening. I traded off being the headliners. But the Sugar Cubes opened every night. So what happened was the night that I went to go see them, people were throwing things at the stage when the Sugar Cubes came on. And Bjork started telling everybody off in the audience. We couldn't even tell what the fuck she was saying. But I've never been a Bjork fan. Never been.
I'm always going to remember her for that swan dress.
Mm-hmm.
I like some of this, like the problem with the Sugar Cubes. If she just sang all the songs and not the guy, I think they would have been more popular and a better band. Her songs were more organized and more normal, believe it or not, than his were. It doesn't seem like it. Their song "Birthday" is fantastic, and then when she went solo and that song "Only Human," was it just called "Human"?
Are you thinking about Human Behavior?
Human Behavior, yeah, that was fantastic. And then a couple other songs I liked, but I've never been a big Bjork fan solo. I like the Sugar Cubes better, believe it or not.
I thought the Sugar Cubes were
great. I bought
myself
the original
personally.
single of "It's Oh So Quiet" because of her cover. I forgot who did it now. It's an early '50s song recording.
Have you ever seen the video for it?
She didn't change a thing on that song. The original sounds, including the screams. Everybody goes, "Oh, that's a Bjork scream." No, the original has that in it. She didn't change a damn thing in that song. Anyway.
I remember I had this friend named Otto. He used to do this thing with his eyes where he'd flick them and he'd make it look like he had Bjork eyes, and you go Bjork all the time. Made me crack up. Just thought about it. But no, have you ever seen the music video for It's Oh So Quiet? Tim?
Yeah. Yeah.
She looks pretty cute in that video. I thought she was pretty cute.
Yeah.
Kind of adorable. You know, just got the cute little thing going.
She was definitely cute, but
Wasn't cute when she attacked that
don't hate
paparazzi
her.
in the airport,
I
though.
get why people like her.
Mm-hmm.
She's not necessarily my thing, but I get why people like her. And Human Behavior, I thought, was a great video and a great song. And
Nathaniel
Birthday
Morris
by the
says,
Beatles, I like probably better than the Beatles' Birthday. So there you go.
homogenic is damn near a 10. There you go. Stevie Wonder Intervisions. Influential album.
Classic.
Influential, classic, influential.
But Songs of Life is better.
Well, Songs of Life is like, his masterpiece. Songs in the Key of Life.
That was considered masterpiece before, and I think that's his first album where he played everything on it, which is why it's so highly regarded.
I mean, if there's a person out there that hates him, where are you? Because he's good. He's good.
But think about it. Has there ever been another blind musician that could play keyboards, drums, anything else, everything to make a whole album yourself, and you're blind?
I like Jose Feliciano.
That's amazing. Yeah, but he wasn't a drummer. He wasn't a keyboard player.
But this guy did
put this album together by himself. Everything.
Yeah. It's like if you really want to say it. I mean, Prince did say that, but he wasn't blind. It's like Stevie Wonder did it blind.
Done it. McCartney did it. All kinds of people. Emmett Rhodes did it, but he did it first. He did it before any. This is like 68 or 69, or he did it before anybody, and he was blind.
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Talking Heads. This album I used to have, and I played it over and over again. This is one of those albums I bought for 50 cents on vinyl. I think when I was probably 20, 21, the end of college, when you were buying vinyl for 50 cents, I bought this, took it home, and played it over and over and over again. Remain Light. Do you think this is like one of their strongest albums? Or would you say there's other albums that are even stronger? I mean, me, myself, I think this one is 77. To me, they're the go-tos. And I don't think that's just because that's like one of the only two I have. I have that one. I have a couple of other ones, but I would end up saying probably like this is one of the go-tos. Whenever I think of Talking Heads, this is the album I go to. So
yeah, and I forget what it's called. There's one in the early '80s that I really liked, and then that's it. Because I'm not a huge fan, but yeah, the first two or three, and then whatever one had Road to Nowhere and all of those hits. That was a really strong album too, and they hadn't done anything in a little while. That was great, and all of a sudden, boom.
Yeah.
It was like the B-52s and them both came alive again at the same time, which is nice.
Nathaniel Morris. Intervision is okay, but it's no Paul's Boutique. I call this Janice's Law. Okay, moving right along. I'm losing steam. Control, Janet Jackson.
No. I feel like
Rhythm Nation was way better.
Yeah. Either Rhythm Nation or the Janet album of 1993 were both strong albums.
Rhythm Nation is definitely top notch.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like Rhythm Nation was more of a concept album. To me, it feels like more of a concept album. This was like, I mean, it was pop. It was good. I mean, it was good. When I think of you, Control, what have you done for me lately? I mean, it's definitely put her on the map. Yeah. Besides all that other crap that she really did before then. But yeah, I think Rhythm Nation was probably like the better. I mean, the Velvet Rope, of course, which came along later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When she matured more so.
Rhythm Nation, Janet, and Velvet Rope, all three solid albums.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Outkast. Me, it's like I was a later Outkast fan. Aquamini wasn't too much for it, even though this one had like a lot of different influences like jazz, funk, all that different stuff. Was not into this album. I was like more of Stankonia, stuff like that.
Yeah,
I went with later albums.
Stankonia is great, but this one's good too. This one's good.
Where's Mind Games? Waiting for you to order it, Ray, for $1,300.
I mean, if you think about it, Outkast is great, but the stuff that Andre 3000 did recently, I'm like scratching my head, like, yeah, that's very interesting, but I don't know.
Yeah, Aquamini.
Never heard
Right
an
now,
Outcast song in my life.
I mean, wow.
I was watching an article, or I was watching a video where they were talking about Janet Jackson's latest tour. She's on tour right now, actually, and they were saying that she had a really scaled back production, and a lot of people were talking bad about it. Like, they're saying, well, it just seems so, like, her setup seems so cheap and blah blah blah. And she said the reason why she did it like that was because so her tickets could be inexpensive.
Yeah.
So, and they were saying, yeah, her tickets are really cheap to go see her. Because she's like saying, a lot of these, groups are doing these big productions and stuff like that, and it's just pure ego, and they're charging hundreds of dollars to pay for it. And she was like, oh, it's real simplistic. A couple of LEDs, a couple of screens, the band, some dancers. That's all you get. That's it, She's all, people want to come and hear her sing the music and dance to the music, So.
I mean, Kimba brings up a very good point.
I don't know about that, Trekker. Let me see. Justin Timberlake ruined her career.
I think that was planned. And B, I think it helped her career. I don't think I heard anything.
But I think we can move on from Outcast now.
I don't think that with that. That was so set up. That was like, I don't think he just did that for the hell of it.
No,
because it just doesn't seem like Justin Timberlake's style. So
finally,
it's a good album.
You're all
Aretha.
You're like,
Yes,
I
have this album. Great album.
Influential album. Influenced so many freaking female singers after her.
Her first two albums are either one or comparable.
Yeah, this album's like one of those albums like grew up hearing over and over again. My mother would play it over and over again on an 8-track. My mom had a thing for 8-track cassettes. So most definitely. I never loved a man the way I love you. Now I know you actually have this one, don't you, Lisa?
Yeah, my dad gave me it.
So he gave you an original OG?
Yep, because he's a big Aretha fan.
Do you listen to it?
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, come on, she's the queen of soul. That girl can sing circles around every artist nowadays. There's nobody like Aretha. Nobody.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think there's people that are comparable to her nowadays, but it's just that she was one of the first.
Name one that's comparable to.
No, I don't.
You have to think about it.
Well, at least puts me on the spot, jackass, and there you go. She's like, oh, you're jackassing, Dusty. You're jackassing. Name one. Let me think.
I think there was one person that had a better voice that was doing a similar thing back then, but I don't think that either's been touched. That's Etta James. I think Etta James might have even had a better voice than Aretha.
There, Kimba said Sharon Jones. Okay, what about Anita Baker? Whitney Houston had a great voice. She was later on.
Yeah, but Aretha's classic, timeless.
Yeah, but they did these modern things with their voices, and I Aretha sang from the heart and was true. She never went I, like the way they did. I hate that. It's fake. It's not. Your heart isn't telling you to do that. Your producer's telling you to do that. And
Tom said Roberta Flack. Tom Hunyadi.
I mean, I'm talking about modern artists.
Voice, though. I don't know.
Modern. What about Jill Scott? My honey, Jill Scott. Hello.
It's debatable. It's questionable.
But Jill Scott, though, if you really think about it, it's like, yeah, she's great, but Jill Scott basically, she's like an impersonation, I think, of Aretha. So yeah, I get it. So yeah. Let me see. Okay, move right along. I don't like him.
No,
like I said, I'm just not much of a rap fan.
I'm not a big rap fan, but that album is very important in hip hop.
Yeah.
Pass. Great.
Yes.
Great album. I don't have too much to say about it. I mean, I do like the album, but I don't really know too much about her. I don't know too much about the production of the album or anything of that sort, but I do know it's a great album. I do like the album. I do listen to it quite frequently.
I mean, look who's on the cover. It's Grayson.
No, actually, it looks more like my
well, the
kitty
production,
ticker. So.
production was wasn't it Lou Adler, and
Mm-hmm.
then with her was James Taylor.
Lou
Um,
Adler?
yeah.
Lou Adler, okay.
But yeah, this was like the album where she was like finally stepping out because before she was a powerhouse songwriter. She wrote for everybody, including like the Monkees and Mamas and Papas, Partridge Family, and stuff like that.
Girl
And so
groups
finally, this
back
was
in
her
the
like
Mhm.
finally feeling like this is what I could do now as an artist.
early 60s. Everly Brothers, everybody. I mean,
You know,
it was
there
a
was a
whirlwind.
movie. There was a movie that came out during the 70s. I don't know if you remember it, Tim. It was called American Hot Wax.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember watching that movie when I was a kid. I watched it a couple of times, and my mother had said that what was the name of the character, the actress from SNL from Saturday Night Live who was in that movie? She ends up playing like the white girl who is like a
Lorraine Newman?
songwriter. Lorraine Newman. My mother had always told me, she saw, oh, Lorraine Newman. She said, I think that was supposed to be Carole King. And I was like, are you sure? She's like, yeah, because that's what Carole King did. She was a little white woman, a little white girl who wrote a lot of songs for all these like doo-wop groups and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I think that I think Lorraine Newman's character was based on Carole King, but they're just not saying it's Carole King,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But let me see the the best example of one and done.
Yep.
Easy Mix
I went
said,
to Walmart the other day and they had an orange copy of that for $15 and I didn't buy it. And I probably should have.
Neil Sedaka beat up.
Yep.
Did you hear laughter in the rain? I'm just kidding. Graham Gouldrill. Okay. Okay. All the best music came out in 1970, 71. That was like right before I was born, so I wouldn't really know.
I don't think so, but
are we sure this
No.
list isn't just what's currently available at Cracker Barrel?
First off, Nathaniel. First off, it's not Cracker Barrel. It's Urban Outfitters.
Cheesecake
and
Factory.
Cracker Barrel sells records too. It's
I know,
probably-
but this is like an Urban Outfitters list.
Okay, let's see. Next. Not a rap fan, but I have this freaking album. I have it on CD, cassette, and vinyl. Wu-Tang Clan.
I
Always
gotta
Wu-Tang
ask
fan.
a question. How does it feel, Martin, to be in jail and not own this album anymore, or a version of this album?
For real. For
Yeah.
real. You went there.
Yes, I
Yeah,
went there.
great album. Won't
Yep.
go too long with it because I know none of you are really rap fans, but I'm pretty sure Nathaniel knows. Fucking iconic album.
This
Album's
is
fucking awesome.
this is like quintessential rap.
Yeah, but it's old school. It's definitely old school. Moving right along.
Yeah, moving right along.
Great
Moving right
album.
along. Yeah,
London
The Clash,
Calling.
London Calling.
I
Yeah,
don't
anything
think
by
it's
The Clash.
best album, ironically, but it's a great album. I can't.
Yeah.
I'm like really a combat rock fan, and a lot of people end up saying combat rock was one of their shittier albums.
I
You know,
think
I think
that's
it's-
too
yeah.
poppy. I like the first album.
Well, yeah, the one that has like Radio Clash and stuff like that on it. Yeah, most
Well,
definitely.
it
But
depends on what you're talking. No, it depends on what you're talking about because the U.S. version is completely different from the U.K. album. But
Mhm.
if you put them both together as one album, it's
yeah, I think I have like when the first album I have an original, but I think mine's an American pressing. But I think
Probably,
everything after the first album, everything I have is just it's all represses.
Yeah.
Which I think they're all Rhino represses.
Yeah.
Which I was looking for an original Combat Rocks. I want the one with on the original American Epic label
I
and
have
stuff like that. Because I used to love that Epic label. You know, the blue one and stuff like
that's
that.
the only one I think I do have that's original.
Yeah, I bought a repress of it, which I mean the repress sounds excellent. It sounds great. I don't have anything to compare it to because I don't have the original anymore. I mean, I had the original when I was a kid, but you know, unfortunately, I got rid of a lot of those freaking albums. Let me see. And Feeding You and Clash, Posh Boy Making Out. He's a Street Boy drummer. There you go. One of the few punk albums I like.
Yep, I like the
Yeah.
Clash.
But
Yeah, but I agree
could've
with Tim. Not their
done
strongest.
a couple of dubs on it, and
Mhm.
yeah, it's one of these albums that if they would have come out with a single album, it would be one of the best albums ever made, hands
Mhm.
down. You know, but it's a really good album.
Okay, let's see. Public Enemy, another one, classic album. It Takes
Yep.
a Nation to Millions to Hold Us Back. Yeah, not going to go too far into it because I know, like I said, no rap people aren't in here, but yeah, definitely a great album.
Yep.
You know, before Flavor Flav made an ass out of himself, you know.
Yep.
He made a joke out of himself, you know. Public Enemy was like kind of up there with like Rage Against the Machine, you know, very controversial stuff like that. But going on, Kid A, Radiohead. When it comes to Radiohead, I gotta be in the mood for it.
Yeah, I think that when it comes to Radiohead, I think maybe OK Computer is like a way better album, or in Rainbow. I don't know much about.
I mean, you know, why Kid A? Why would you pick Kid A when you got albums like In Rainbow and you've got, you know, Pablo Honey and you've got OK Computer? Because I think if we're gonna talk about their best album sonically, it's In Rainbows. But I mean, this one's okay. It's just not my cup of tea when it comes to Radiohead.
Yeah, I think my first introduction was Pablo Honey. Yeah, Pablo Honey was the first one that I had ever heard.
My first introduction was OK Computer.
I don't even know. What was their first album? That's the only one that
Pablo Honey.
Pablo Honey.
That's the one that has the song Creep.
And anyone could play guitar. And, I mean, they were just sort of an indie punk band when they started.
To tell you the truth, if you listen to Pablo Honey all the way through, it will not give you any kind of inkling to what they were going to become later.
Yeah.
No.
You know, it's like apples and oranges.
That's what I like about it. You know, again, I'm a simple guy. I like full rock and roll.
I like complex.
They're like those kind of like the kind of bands that, you know, we're never gonna do like the same album twice or even one. Twice. Because like, you know, it was them and both Beck, and both of them were known that each album was gonna be totally different from the album previous. Yeah. And that's the way it was. Like, you know, Pablo Honey was like very, very like, you know, heavy hard rock, and then all of a sudden they do OK Computer, and then that was like totally different. That was more like, you know, euphoric. And Rainbow was very, very like, you know, going into like a masterpiece kind of thing. And so
I mean, the thing with Pablo Honey is when I first bought Pablo Honey, like, you know, same thing, I was in college. You know, I turned around, I bought Pablo Honey, and I took it home and listened to it, and I thought it was kind of run of the mill for the bands that were around at that time. You know, so I was kind of like, oh, it's pretty good. They fit in with what the scene was at that time. So I liked it. And then years later, I heard, like, you know, OK Computer. You know, I was like, who the fuck is this band? I'm like, didn't even sound like the same band anymore. You know, so. Yeah. But moving right along. Trace B.I.G. Come on now, it's got Big Papa. This is another one of those albums like, I pull this album to listen to like, you know, joke around with and stuff like that. Don't really take the album seriously. You know, a lot of people are like, how could you say that about Biggie Smalls? Biggie Smalls is the greatest. Yeah. I have
to give it its credit. Yeah, I do.
It's a great album.
It's a classic in the genre, most definitely. It's definitely a classic in the genre. But the drama surrounding, you know, they're saying now with all this stuff that's going on with P. Diddy, kind of going off the rail a little bit. Yeah. They're saying with all this stuff that's going on with P. Diddy, they're saying that they think a lot of the truth is going to come out about what happened with Biggie Smalls and Tupac. Yeah. They think a lot of shit's going to come out. So. Yeah. But we will see. We will see. They're saying we will find out what happened in our lifetime. Yep. Even though people basically already know, but whatever. Yeah. This album, Alanis Morissette, Jagged Little Pill, it was a good album. I loved it when it first came out, but it got so fucking played out. This is like Frampton Comes Alive. It was given to everybody for free. This is like one of those albums like, I'm pretty sure everybody in this fucking room has a copy of it.
I do.
Everybody in this room's got to have a copy of it.
I have it on
CD.
I do. I don't think I do, to be honest.
You sure? It's like, even if you didn't buy it, you ended up with one somehow, and you probably don't like understand how you ended up with it.
I got my copy at Goodwill.
I bought my copy I bought my 2 copies on purpose.
I'm like, I don't think I ever bought a copy on purpose.
Well, what happened was like I bought one copy, and it was like a Newberry Comics one, but those pressings were very flawed. They skipped so much, so I ended up putting like another copy. It might have been like a Music on Vinyl copy, and that one did not skip. So that's weird. But it was an album where I think it was like it became a kind of like it became a meme. Like it became a meme before a meme was a meme, if that makes sense.
Well, like Invisible Racist or Angry Woman album. There you go.
Yeah, it basically became a meme before a meme was a meme, because everybody was like saying like, oh my god, she's gonna be turning dark, that she's gonna be Alanis, you know, like that. So it became sort of like, you know, if any person makes like any girl that makes like an angry song, they're like, oh my god, she's becoming Alanis.
I call this the Full House album.
You know, when I found out who this album was supposed to be about, I was like, what? You know, if they had said, oh, it was about John Stamos, or if they had said it, even if they had said it was about, what's the one who passed away? Why is his name escaping me right now? My brain's farting on me.
Bob Saget.
Bob Saget. Even if they said about Bob Saget, I could believe that. But the one they said it was about, I was like, really? Yeah. Are you really?
Well,
I was like, okay.
I don't, maybe not them, but I think it was maybe because she was Canadian, so they're probably thinking more like who are like the famous Canadians that she probably wrote it about. So it wasn't like, you know, they weren't questioning John Stamos or Bob Saget. They're mostly like, you know, okay, could have been Bryan Adams, could have been Alan Thicke, could have been Wayne Gretzky, could have been like, you know, these other kind of Canadians. But then they're like, she wrote this album about Dave fucking Coulier.
Wait, she did.
You mean Joey? She wrote an album because of Joey Gladstone, Mr. Yep. Cut It Out. What the fuck?
Yeah.
But you know. Well, but I mean, this album, like I said, this album kind of got played out. It had a couple of like, you know, high moments for a while there. There was a couple of times I played this album, and I really enjoyed it, so I'm not going to knock it. A lot of her later albums I like Under Rug Swept, stuff like that.
Supposed Summer and Infatuated.
Yeah. But to me, she's always been kind of like angry woman music. So I kind of gotta agree with Ray there. Yeah. It's like I don't what's the word? I don't why is the word escaping me? My brain is farting tonight. I swear to God, I can't like get words out tonight.
We also have to point out on this album, a lot of the bass playing was done by Flea, Red Hot Chili Peppers, so it had that edge to it.
Yeah. I don't. Why is the word escaping me?
And I think playing
it
jumps
doesn't
for her
reflect me. I guess or something like that. You know.
And playing jumps for her at that time was a future Foo Fighter, which was Taylor Hawkins.
Yeah.
And watch, as soon as I get to like 3 albums away from here, then I'm gonna like go, oh, that was the word.
Yeah.
No, this is just an angry album, and I did play it as a kid.
Well, a lot of her music was kind of, you know, it was aimed towards females who had been in bad relationships. I mean, they all made sense, but it's just that, you know, a lot of her music got thrown in my face by exes and stuff like that. So it's like, that's the reason why I kind of like, I'm not so into her. It's like, I have her albums, but there aren't albums that I like, you know, pull out to listen to, because like, if I end up listening to this one album, be like, oh, there's that one song that one ex told me, that's you know, and stuff like that, or stuff like that. So it's like, it's just kind of like one of those things with her.
As Joey Gladstone says, cut it out. We'll go into the next album.
As Bray said, John Candy. Okay. In the mind.
I do have to say that I actually like the Alanis Morissette stuff that she did before this album. It was very, very kind of like, you know, R&B pop that she was doing.
That might be it. It might be the beer. There you go, Star Trekker. Maybe that's what he's trying to say there. But I've only had like 2. So that's nothing for me. You can't do that on television. Yeah. Canadian TV. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Moving right along. Fucking awesome album. Awesome. This one and the EP, most definitely. A lot of this album, though, I understand it's her lyrics. But it's also a lot her brother's instrumentation, and her brother's engineering, her brother's production.
Yep, Phineas.
You know, it's a lot of Phineas. The new album, her lyrics, Phineas's production and instrumentations. Yeah. So it's like, Happier Than Ever. I don't know what the hell happened to that album. You know, it's like a couple of songs on it were great. Yeah. But a lot of it was just, I
think with Happier Than Thou, she was trying to aim for a more LA kind of bass sound, but I think something got kind of in a way of it. I don't know what exactly that was, but there's some parts of it I like. I think someone like me that likes that kind of like LA, um, Laurel Canyon kind of like feel to it. I think I gravitated to that album more,
Mm-hmm.
but I could see why people didn't like it all that much. But this new album that she came out with is it's amazing. Um,
Yeah.
but I do like this first one. You know, it was when I saw her perform at Coachella for the first time in 2019. I was like, wow, what music is this? This is great music. I like it. I
But
didn't find this album
but
the next day.
is this the
Never
greatest
heard a
album of
song
all?
this time,
Is this the
ever.
greatest album of all time? No.
One of the greatest albums of all time? Probably not. I mean, if you think about this album right here, is actually it's more like for younger people, most definitely.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. You know, I do enjoy it, but yeah, it is geared more towards younger people.
I mean,
You know,
come
stuff like
on.
that.
List is.
Um,
Whole list is.
hmm But I mean, I don't know if it does it belong on those lists. Maybe not now, but maybe in like 10 years.
10 years. Yeah.
Yeah, in like 10 years, maybe. But right now, probably not.
No.
Yeah.
Right now. Classic album, another one, influential hip hop album. It's right up there with, like I said, the Public Enemy album, the other albums. You know,
I mean,
definitely
if
the
you
Low
think
End
of-
Theory,
if
A
you-
Tribe Called Quest.
If you think about it, Tribe Called Quest had, you know, in my opinion, this album and Midnight Marauders are two classic albums by them. So yeah, I definitely think they do deserve to be on this list. One of the greatest, I want to say, groups to come out of the hip hop genre in the you know in the 90s. It's just one of I'm happy to see him on here. I know a lot of people are gonna be like, "Liz still listens to a Tribe Called Quest." Hell yeah, I do. I
Never
listen to
heard
Tribe.
him. No idea.
Oh, you gotta go down that rabbit hole, Tim.
No, I do not.
Yes, you do.
No, I do not.
Let me see. Tom said, "Are they like the modern day Carpenters?" You must be talking about, I think, the other people. Oh, talking about like Billie Eilish and her brother Phineas. It's stuck in there. I call fraud. He's obviously talking about Billie Eilish. Nathaniel said, "Billie exemplifies the rise of Spotify playlist music taking over. That's why it made the cut." Don't say I disagree, but yeah. Ray, come on now. That should
Thank
be on.
you.
That would be
We
like
can only hope.
all time.
Number
I mean,
one.
We can only hope, Ray.
No.
oh,
God, if you're out there,
damn!
listen
You
to
say
me.
Tim's out of touch with the I think Tim knows what's going on. He's got his finger on the pulse still.
Not out of touch. I'm in touch with the things I care about. And the things I don't care about, I don't waste my time on.
Move along. Overrated.
Pink Floyd, The Dark Side of the Moon. I don't think
It's not
overrated.
overrated. It's a perfect album, but it's
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a great album, but it's
It's
still
been played to
overrated.
death for 50 years. And
That's what I think.
a big
Exactly.
problem.
That's what I was gonna say. I think it's been played to death over the past 50 years. I still pull this album out, play it, and enjoy it. I love this fucking album.
I mean, isn't
But-
it safe to say that
I'm
we all
starting-
pretty much own this?
I'm starting to think that maybe this list is not aimed for people like us that actually know music, but more aimed towards like Gen Z and Gen Alpha that are probably trying to get into music, and so it's sort of like them saying like, okay, well, these are the recommendation albums that you should look into. This is not the actual 100 best albums, but this is like for you just to get your music education started.
I mean,
kind of.
But you have
Yeah.
to think about it. This list was actually supposed to be curated by musicians themselves, engineers, and people in the industry. So those have to be people that were inspired by other artists
Yeah,
and
but
make
it-
music,
but
stuff like that. So
It's clearly very modern musicians. They're not
Okay,
talking to Jimmy
I
Page
mean,
or Eric Clapton.
yeah.
Or, you know
They-
what I
well,
mean?
yeah,
It's
that's true.
Clearly very modern musicians.
I mean,
mean-
Brodsky would bring on here if they talk to McCartney.
I mean, there's other albums by Pink Floyd that could have been on here, like "Wish You Were Here" or "Animal."
Yeah, but no, that is considered their best album. And
It is their
that
best
would be my
album.
favorite Pink Floyd album if I hadn't heard it 22,000
I mean,
times.
do I own this on vinyl? Yes. I mean, I think most of us do own this on vinyl.
It's for a prog album, you can't get any better than if you consider that a prog album, you can't get any better.
I mean,
But
there's always a debate: is Pink Floyd a prog group or are they a rock group? There's always going to be that debate.
Yeah.
With what,
Oh yeah, Metal
what they are.
Echoes, definitely. Metal
Oh,
Echoes on metal.
Metal.
Yeah.
Medley, metal, that's a great
I agree
album.
with Invisible Ray says here. He's like, you have to make time for it. It's true because like Dark Side of the Moon is a journey. You can't just listen to a couple of songs on it.
No,
I mean, you could,
no.
but you take
all
the journey.
Pink Floyd, all of Pink Floyd's a journey.
So, I mean, it's not an album. It's an album that if you put it on, you're not going to skip a song. You're not going to go, I don't like that song. You're going to play the entire thing through every single time.
Yeah.
See, now I have Piper at the Gates of Dawn. I think I've only like spun it like twice. Not too much for Sid era.
I love
Sid Barrett.
Sid, but there's a comp that didn't come out. It came out in Norway, I think, or someplace like that. But it's called Masters of Rock. That has the best of Piper and their singles from that period, and it's such a good album.
I mean, we can agree that Pink Floyd definitely deserves to be on the list, regardless of what album they put on there.
That's Zeppelin 2. Or is that 3?
Well, you know,
That's
Zeppelin 2
2
is great.
Yeah.
Zeppelin 2 is great, but I think I would personally say Physical Graffiti over Zeppelin 2.
Well, no,
Zeppelin 1.
Though.
I would say Zeppelin 1 myself personally.
We're gonna fight about this. I can tell we're gonna fight about this. Zeppelin's a
4, I think, is going to be on there. Too,
well, 4 is great too. I mean, all the number albums are great. 1, 2, 3, and 4 are great. And
actually, isn't 4 not officially really called 4?
No,
it
officially is called 4.
It is officially called 4?
Unofficially
Okay, I thought it wasn't officially called 4.
Unofficially it's 4, but it's 4.
I mean, it's good to see Zeppelin on here, regardless of what album they decided to choose. Zeppelin,
I'm not even a Zeppelin fan, but they better have at least one album on the
exactly
all-time list. Come on, but so should lots of other people that clearly aren't going to be on here already.
Yeah,
I'm skipping this fucking album on principle alone.
Fuck.
I really cannot stand Kanye West. I don't think he's a genius. I don't think he's shit. Miles Davis, Kinda Blue.
I knew this was going to be on here.
It should be on the list simply because it's the best-selling jazz album of all time.
Yep, it is.
Even though I'm more of a Bitches Brew fan than Kinda Blue when it comes to Miles Davis, but Kinda Blue, I've given this one a couple of spins. I do own it.
It's my favorite. It's probably my second favorite jazz album. Time Out by Dave Brubeck is probably my favorite. I'm obviously not a big jazz guy, but
in Australia it's called 4. Kimba said Zeppelin 1 Z. See, that's why I thought it was ZOSO is what I thought, but it's
4.
Great jazz. Must have a jazz album. I listened to Kinda Blue last week. Coltrane is on it.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that one, like I said, I've played it a couple of times. But Bitches Brew is more like what I end up going to when it comes to like Miles Davis. So this one I still have an original pressing that I have from like 1994, I think, of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders of Mars. Still, I didn't think it was a strong album.
No.
In my opinion, a lot of people would fucking put away your pitchforks and your fucking torches. But
I agree. I feel like Hunky Dory was way better than this one. Then again, I think he also did some other good ones like Young Americans or Heroes, possibly Station to Station.
I like Station to Station.
It's going to be controversial, but I don't think Bowie's ever done anything even close to a perfect album. I mean, I don't skip songs, but I don't think he's ever done an album where you don't want to skip at least one song.
Ooh, that is very controversial.
But it's true. He's just
no. I agree.
As far as saying that, I think this is as good as anything else he's done. I was kind of like his first, his first and second album that I really like. What one has the song about the free festival on it? I'm old. I can't remember song titles anymore.
Yeah.
Memories of a Free Festival or something.
I'm not like the biggest Bowie fan. I mean, I don't know all the album titles, but someone else.
I don't. His list is artificially racially biased at the expense of many true classic albums. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of albums that are missing from the list, most definitely.
Yeah, they're aiming at 12-year-olds basically.
No, this is
but that's what they're doing.
This is a Gen Z list.
My wife says Ziggy Stardust is his best. I said, let's dance.
Let's Dance. The hits are okay, but the rest.
I have a lot of Bowie. I'm a big fan. I do have quite a bit of Bowie that I ended up with. I think that I bought really cheap, like the Lodger, and I mean, I have a lot of Bowie. Kimba, this list is as bad.
Yeah, it's
okay. So moving on along to the next one, Daft Punk.
Don't get it.
Well,
yeah, same
the thing
Discovery
with
Daft Punk.
That's a good album.
It's rave music. Why should an album that you play to rave be on this list?
Yeah, but you see, Daft Punk. I'm gonna defend Daft Punk. I like this album, although I think my favorite is Random Access Memory, which came out in 2013. I mean, I get it. Daft Punk's not everybody's cup of tea, but I like Daft Punk.
I like the first two albums.
Yeah, the first two albums are great.
I think when they first came out, like with Around the World, and then they went off to do this album with One More Time. It was just like it was exciting to me. It was like like a breath of fresh air. Like it excited me. I
was very happy when they were
really great duo.
I know of Daft Punk. I do like Daft Punk, but Daft Punk pretty much reminds me of just like DJing, and I would have a couple of 12 inches by them, like Around the World, One More Time, stuff like that. I don't think I've ever really felt like, oh, I'm going to go ahead and sit down and listen to a whole Daft Punk album. I don't think I've ever wanted to do that. The only, I think, Daft Punk album I've ever really sat down and listened to was the Tron soundtrack. It's
not an album that you play. It's not for that.
I mean, they're not everybody's cup of tea. I get it. They're not everybody's cup of tea.
But during Around the World, a lot of those 12 inches, I spun them, I beat matched with them and stuff like that. But
I do have the Tron soundtrack on vinyl. I do have that.
I went to a party once in the 90s. I don't know exactly when, sometime in the mid 90s, and it was just a house party, but they had a DJ, and this guy was playing music as loud as you could play it, and we're in a house. I felt sorry for the neighbors. It wasn't even a house; it was an apartment. So I felt so sorry for anybody that lived close to these people, and it was just this kind of stuff. Just one side. You couldn't have a conversation. It's a house party, wine and cheese and wine, and it's that. And I'm just confused. I can't talk to anybody. I'm just standing there leaning against the wall, And in the middle of the party, all of a sudden, "Son of a Preacher Man" comes on by Dusty Springfield in the middle of all this, and as soon as that's over, it's back to that for the rest of the night. It was the weirdest thing I'd ever done.
Was John Lovitz there? Was John Lovitz at that party? Because I don't know if you've ever seen that movie. I think it was called High School High or something like that. And he was like a teacher, and they had a dance and stuff like that. And he was like, "Hey, can you're playing records? Can you play this one?" And they're playing "Rhinestone Cowboy" by Glenn Campbell, and then everybody was like, "What the fuck?"
It was the weirdest thing because the party changed totally when "Son of a Preacher Man" came on, and everybody started talking and we're like, "This is great," and blah blah. And then that other stuff comes back on, and it's just back to everybody just leaning up against the wall, going, "When can I leave?"
I'm going to tell you something. I can guarantee you the reason why that song came on, somebody tipped him like a $20 bill because like I said, I used to DJ. And one time I was doing this party where it was all like, new wave, flashback music. And I was playing nothing but new wave flashback music. And this drunk guy came up to me and he had two 20s in his hands. And he goes, "Hey, see these two 20s? He's all, they're yours if you can play. We like the cards that go boom. If you have that song, these 220s have your name written all over it." Yeah. And guess what? In the middle of all those new wave flashbacks, those motherfuckers heard "We like the cards that go boom." For $40, I'm playing that fucking song.
I used when I was an oldies DJ. Some guy kept pestering me to play some record, and he's like, "I'll tip you," blah blah. And I just said, No. I didn't get what I was doing. I can't remember what the hell it was, but I went to the bathroom. I put on a long song and went to the bathroom and came back, and there was a 10. We pretty poor.
Yeah.
Wow, when this was the 90s, 80s, actually.
Hey, there you are, Charlie.
Sitting on my console, and I knew exactly what it was for, and I played his damn record.
I mean, Nathaniel, Nathaniel, you can't go wrong with either Homework or Discovery. They are both great Daft Punk albums. So I think if either one of those was on the list, I wouldn't really, have any issues because I like both albums.
Welcome, K Frets.
I don't think
he's saying, and it's number 22. He wants us to move along. I'm assuming.
Charlie.
Okay, just for K Frats, number 6. We will go ahead and we'll move right along. He's saying 22, please. Okay, there we go. Born to Run.
Yeah, I can't argue with it. I can't.
Bruce Springsteen.
Think of anything better to put it. I mean, it's.
We can't argue.
Again,
that's a good album.
Very, very overplayed, but yeah.
It is overplayed, but it's a great album. It's a great album.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say Bruce Springsteen's whole catalog is probably one of the ones I would go to first.
Yeah.
This one and The River. Most definitely.
The River's great.
Yeah. Born in the USA, I've never spun it. I mean, I think I've spun it a couple of times, but
I bought it.
It's not my go-to.
Cover with a guy with
280s, but
there you go.
The album after that was great too. Darkness on the Edge of Town. Either one of those.
Oh, Nebraska is fantastic, Charlie.
Yeah, that is actually a good album.
But Nebraska is never going to be on a list like this, unfortunately. But Nebraska.
Well, they're trying to pick albums. I think this list is trying to pick albums that everybody would know. Albums that are popular by.
Well, they're not doing a good job as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I know a lot. Well, I know a lot of these albums, so I guess it's.
I haven't known 2/3 of them.
I know a lot of these albums.
Oh
I don't know
my
this
God.
one though. I don't know this one though. I don't know who they are.
Who are they? What are they?
Who's that?
Greatest album.
The Beatles. Who's the Beatles? Revolver. Okay, now. What can I say about this album that has not already been said? So I don't think there's much else to say about this.
I can say
it's a great album.
Yeah, there you go. That's the only thing we should.
Somewhere. I'll say that about it. It shouldn't be number 21.
I think I've heard of this group. Are they big?
I don't know. I heard they've been around for a while though, but I heard it's got a community. I heard it's got a following.
Are they better than Mike Love?
No, nobody's better than Mike Love.
Yeah.
No, but honestly, actually, I think this is like one of my favorite Beatles albums. This one, Rubber Soul.
Visible Ray telling us to go to the next one.
He's like, no. Thanks, Keith Ratz. He's agree on Born to Run in the River. Okay, so moving along. Beach Boys Pet Sounds.
I knew this was going to be on here.
Again.
Yeah.
There's Mason. Mason's coming.
That's my favorite album. That is my favorite album of all time.
I mean, God only knows they would make the list.
Yeah.
I will be perfectly honest with this album. This album, I spun it a couple of times, before I actually really hung out in the vinyl community. And I would listen to this album because I had heard by word of mouth other people were like, this is one of the greatest albums ever made. One of the greatest albums ever made. And I would listen to it and I was like, I don't hear it. And then when I got in the vinyl community and a lot of people explained to me this and that, nuances and stuff like that, I listened to it again. And I was like, oh, okay, I kind of see what they're saying now. And I've kind of like grown to like it. If
you like This Is Ski Lodge, if you like that kind of stuff, then you'll have a much greater appreciation for Pet Sounds because it's sort of lounge music meets rock. I mean, it's sort of what that album is.
Yeah.
It's my favorite album.
This album should be in top 10.
Yeah, so should Revolve.
Oh, why is the
Ghetto classic?
Why is the Chronic ahead of?
That's ahead of the Beatles.
Yeah, exactly. This is my problem. This is my problem with these lists.
Look,
you're telling me Dr. Dre is better than.
Right now, Ray's shitting himself. He's like, "Oh, what the fuck?"
No, I'm sorry.
I mean, this is Dr. Dre's best album, but what the heck?
Right now, I can tell you, Ray's going, "What the fuck?"
It's not easy.
So that's some bullshit. Yeah, I mean, great album. I'll admit, great album. I have it and I do play it quite often. This one and the Chronic 2001. But yeah. Look, Easy Mix said, I bought the Chronic album the day it came out. So 2 points up from Revolver. I know, man. Yeah. But I think Invisible Ray's okay with that. I think he's okay with that. He's like, oh, I'm still okay with that. So. Oh, fuck me.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah, my girl, Taylor.
Oh,
Hey.
fuck
This is
me.
a list for 12-year-olds. It's been proven.
K-Frats knew already. Thank you, K-Frats. You could have warned me. He's a little way too seen number 18.
First off, I need to say something. Why the fuck is this so high on the list, man? I like Taylor Swift, but she's not top 20.
Lisa, you know what you have to do, Lisa, right? You gotta shake it off, because the player's gonna play, and haters gonna hate.
Fuck me.
So shake it off,
God. Somebody make it stop.
Moving right along. Phenomenal freaking album. Phenomenal.
Great album. Not better than
yeah.
Sound Revolver though, but great album.
No, but I mean, you gotta think about it. It's like, it was one of the first kind of concept albums.
Yep.
Or he considers a concept album. Me myself personally, I've never really seen where the concept is, besides it having just a common theme all through it about about the struggles in the urban jungle and stuff like that. So, but yeah, definitely a great album. This was, I think, his woke period, of course. This one, and let's get it on.
The thing about this album was that he had to really fight hard to make this, because there was a thing where Berry Gordy was really stifling his artists, because he didn't want none of his artists to go into kind of protest mode when it came to their music. I know that Stevie Wonder had a fight to do his own kind of thing, and so Marvin Gaye had to do it as well. As a matter of fact, I think Marvin Gaye probably had to try to do a legal issue with Berry Gordy just so he could make this album, man.
I mean, come on, Berry Gordy.
Once he made the album and he played it to Berry Gordy, Berry Gordy was like, you know what? I am not going to argue with any of you artists anymore. This is a great album. I feel Berry Gordy, this album does need to be made. So
Berry Gordy was worried because probably more than 50% of Motown sales were sold to white people.
I mean, if you think about it, you can't argue.
White people were not buying stuff like that.
He can't argue. He cannot argue because.
But you also have to think though. At the time this album came out, Berry Gordy Berry Gordy had to put up with the fiasco of that album he made called "Here's to You, Dear," or "Here's for You," the album that he made for the divorce. Because he had gotten a divorce from his wife and he made a shitty album to pay her back. Because I think that the judge had told him for his next album he was gonna have to give the proceeds to her.
I mean, first off,
so he made a really shitty album.
I don't know anything about that.
Berry Gordy, the reason
that was the thing, and that album changed Motown.
No.
There you go, Easy Mick, Here My Dear. That was the name of the album, Here My Dear. So it's basically fuck you, you made a shitty album, which actually had a couple good songs.
That's not a shitty album. His son was in a band called LFMAO. I rest my case. That's shitty. Berry Gordy's son. Yeah.
Oh.
LFMAO.
Really?
Yep.
That was Berry Gordy's son?
Yep, I'm pretty sure that's his son.
Yeah, they had. You mean he had more sons aside from Rockwell?
Oh,
I thought Rockwell was a nephew.
No, that was his son.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Charlie, actually, it was not a bad album. It was not a bad album, but he wanted to make a bad album. But I just don't think he was capable of making a bad album. Tell you the truth, but he wanted to make a bad album.
He has 8 kids. Berry Gordy has 8 kids.
Okay, moving right along.
Yeah.
Joni Mitchell Blue, fucking awesome album. Everything from that early period, everything from Blue, I think, all the way up to was it The Hissing of Summer Lawns? Because I mean, the stuff that she did, like the Mingus, and when she started trying to fuck around in jazz, I fell off when it came to Joni Mitchell. But everything like this, Ladies of the Canyon, For the Roses, everything like that, Joni Mitchell, definite. This, of course, fucking totally awesome.
I mean, I'm glad to see her on the list. She is very influential in the folk genre, and it's just, nice to see her on the list.
And the thing that I regret is that I know any day now we're going to lose her.
I know, and I don't want to think about it.
Any day now we're going to lose her.
Same with Brian Wilson. I don't want to think about it.
Yeah,
so
he's taking a turn very quickly.
Yeah.
Move on. Next.
Yeah, move on. I'm not into.
Well, I'll talk about Adele.
And Target shelves waiting to be.
No, we're not going to
No,
talk about.
no. Okay, I will defend Adele. Okay, 19, 21, 25, great albums. 30, they can throw that into the Indian Ocean. But 21, 19, 25, great album.
Do you realize how many albums had to wait months and months and months because of that fucking album?
Yeah.
Because of 30. What was it? 30?
Yeah, 30 is not that great of an album. I like.
We had to wait. We had to wait almost a half year. And people were going to say like, yeah, and I mean, we had to. I mean, a lot of people are going to be like, "Oh, shut up, Dusty. That's a fucking stupid album." But we had to wait a half a year for fucking Soul Sonic to come out.
Oh, and finally,
there were
we got
2
our
record store days because of that damn album.
Exactly.
No, it wasn't because of the damn.
Yes, it was. She tied up all the fucking record plants.
It was about COVID too. COVID's why we also
No, it
had.
wasn't about COVID.
We had limited record plants.
It was about her tying up all the presses, making that damn.
First
album.
off, if we're gonna blame anybody, blame her freaking record company, not her, the person. Well, the Sony, blame Sony Music.
Oh, sorry, Silk Sonic. I'm sorry, Silk Sonic. There it was.
This is probably my favorite Dylan album. So I'm glad to see it here.
I'm glad to see Dylan on the list finally. It took him long enough.
Blonde on Blonde, but I always like this.
This is a good one.
I would say this one. Yeah, I listened to this one more than Blonde on Blonde.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just recently, like, really started listening to Dylan. I wasn't too much of a Dylan fan either. A lot of people can say, "What, Dusty? You're ignorant like that?"
Desolation Row. Oh my god! You know, you'd think an 11-minute song. An 11-minute song is freaking amazing.
I've never really gotten to Dylan.
But, you know, I think a lot of it has to do, like, I mean, the way I've been listening to my music lately is because it's like, before I kind of like went in there and I would go into like Left of the Dial and I really didn't have like a shopping agenda. You know, most people go in and they're like, okay, I have an agenda. I want this, I want that. It's like, I would kind of go in there, I'd be kind of like, whatever struck me and stuff. But now it's like funny because I go in there and build a shelf. And because he gives me such good prices, that's the only reason why I listen to him. But he's kind of like, he does the Jack Black and, you know, in the, now I'm gonna fucking. What's the name of the movie? High Fidelity. Sorry. He does the Jack Black to me all the time. Every time I walk there, he's like, "Oh, you need to take this one. No, you need to take this one. Yeah. You need to take this one. It's gonna be okay. Take this one. Okay, take this one." And he does that to me, and he sells them to me so cheap. I go ahead and I take them.
Yeah.
You know, so it's because of him. He's like kind of like changed by like listening and stuff like that. He's like, take this home and listen to it. You're gonna like it, Rick. You're gonna like it. Take it home. You know, I'll be like, okay.
If I let my new record store guy do that to me, I'd be walking out with a ton of.
Yeah, I'm glad I don't have that record store in my area.
And he guilts me into it too sometimes. So like, turn around, he'll like show me a record, and be like, "Oh, you need to take this one home." And be like, "I don't know." He's like, "How can you be on fucking YouTube talking about music if you don't have this album?" And I'll be like, "What?" He's all, just fucking turn around and shut down your YouTube channel. Well, how can you not have this album?
Black. You do not own this album. I won't tell anybody. It'll be all right.
Yeah, he'll be like, "Oh, just." He's like, "Do you say that on your live stream that you don't have this album?" Because I would be embarrassed to say that. You know, I'm like, okay, I'll take it. You know. So, anyways, Jay-Z used to fucking love Jay-Z. Jay-Z was like one of my favorite rappers at one time. Now I'm just kind of like, he is just everything corporate, everything that has to do with fucking money.
Why is it so high on the list?
But they always were. I'm sorry, all these people always were. That's my main problem.
Exactly.
He's married to Beyonce.
They're just in it for the money.
Okay.
Okay, computer. Okay, not bad. Not bad. Okay.
Don't get it.
I think this could be in the top 20. You know, top 20 most definitely. Even Tom was like, next.
Yeah.
This list of appalling. Well, we never said it was perfect, Ray. We already knew this. Well, I said it on the freaking description. I was like, oh, you know.
I almost didn't come up because I'm like, oh, I'm not going to like anything.
Oh, I knew it was going to be a shitty list. I knew it was going to be a shitty list.
Okay.
You know, because I'd already been seeing like the reviews of people talking shit already. I was like, oh, it's a shitty list.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fleetwood Mac rumors.
Oh fuck!
The album that used to be
literally.
$1 everywhere and is now like $40 every time you try and buy a copy.
I don't get that. You know,
Rumors.
Okay, we have our
Band.
consensus with rumors.
We've already been there, done that.
Yeah, been there, done
Rumor
that.
is
That's a t-shirt.
rumor. Oh, are
Moving
you?
right along.
Moving
I
around.
don't know what that is.
I knew this was gonna be on here.
Nirvana, Nevermind. Okay, well, we'll see about some great album. Changed the whole face of music
Yeah.
for a short period of time.
Um,
Depending on who you ask, I guess you would say
Yep.
it changed the face of music.
Well, it did. It did save a recording studio because if you saw that Sound City documentary, that recording studio was dying. But then once Nirvana went in there to record this album, then all of a sudden everybody wanted to record at that studio. So this album was the album that was like the gift that kept on giving. Because then everybody recorded their
Yeah.
afterwards, like Keyless, Queens of Stone Age, and a lot of other artists. Rage recorded there, so it was all because they loved how great Nevermind sounded. So,
the thing that I did like about Nevermind is that, like, if you end up like comparing to a lot of the albums at the time that were really, really noisy, it's like, and I'm not talking about the music, I'm not talking about the content, I'm talking about the sound. Is that the sound was like, the music was so freaking, like that. It was supposed to be sucking in the face, but it was limited to a point where it was like palatable. You know what I mean? It's like, it wasn't overbearing where it made your speaker sound like shit. It's like, it came in clear. It came in like, you were able to take it in. I think even though it was loud and raunchy and it was supposed to be like the bass drum, like beating your ass in the snare, it's like, caw. It's like, it was palatable. It sounded good.
Yeah.
It was well engineered.
A lot of the songs are very melodic too, if you listen to them, which is not the case for 90+% of.
Which I think a lot of that came from their producer Butch Vig, who was totally into melody and stuff like that, and so it was him working with the band and made them really sound great.
Punk album, and they're very melodic songs, most of them.
Yeah, you're right, Ray. He said 80 to 85. For me, out here, actually in California, probably maybe in England, it was 80 to 85. Here in California, like 90 to 95 was like the golden era of buying like vinyl dirt cheap. Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, secondhand, you would be able, out here in 90 to 95. Definitely was good. I mean, in California. Anyways.
The golden era of buying new vinyl was around 90, 89, 90, when all of a sudden these huge budget bins would show up at places and everything would be $4 or less. And I'm talking everything because they were trying to get rid of it. Oh my God, I went to this one budget bin. This budget bin was probably 1/10 of a mile long. I'm not kidding. Inside a store, it just went, and the A section would be 5 rows of budget bins, and then you'd have it's, oh my God. And, anyway.
I see something on this list that I'm gonna be like, what the fuck is
he
he doing?
Amy
so
Winehouse, Back to Black. Okay, top 20, probably not top 10. Top 20, definitely.
Yeah, not top 10, not top 10.
I'll just shut up. I understand why people like it. I don't get it.
I really, really did like. I like Amy Winehouse. I do. Yeah, I mean, she was she original? No. Was she very talented? Yes. I think she brought back that sound. She brought back that sound and stuff like that. I have the 2 albums she came out with. It was like Frank and this one.
Yeah.
And I do play them frequently. This one I play a lot. Actually, tell you the truth. Now I think about it, I play Back to Black a lot. I mean, I do really. She's very British. Very British.
Yeah, but
in my opinion.
I just think she should be top 10. No.
It's like so funny. It's like I'm not saying that Invisible Ray has this this opinion, but I've noticed like something that we find very British over here, and we like identify that with British. Sometimes the British will be like, I fucking hate that shit. They'll hate it. Like my friend Sylvain, who was from Liverpool. I'd be into stuff that was like very British, and I'd be like, oh, that's I like that. He's like, oh, that's fucking crap. that's crap. You know, it's sort of like that. So I've noticed that about people from Britain. Like anything that we're into here that's British, they'll be like, nah, it's fucking crap. That's our crap.
Well, if there's one thing to be said about me is like I am a powerhouse Anglophile. I love a lot of things that come out from England. You know, like not just music, but also like a lot of the entertainment and performers from there and stuff. So, yeah.
Okay.
Pass.
Kendrick Lamar. I really like Kendrick Lamar. I'm not going to go on about it, but I own all of his albums. He's a rapper, but I really do like him.
This is a great album, but I think To Pimp a Butterfly is a better album.
I
think so, but yeah, I do listen to Kendrick Lamar, so I'll offer my opinion.
Better than Rubber Soul or the White Album, clearly.
Well, no, don't think it was. No, I mean, as much as I love this guy, no, he was not better than them. No, definitely not.
No, it's not better, but now we talk
fucking masterpiece. This album, Journey Through the Life of Plants, Inner Visions.
Yeah.
That whole era of like Stevie Wonder, fucking awesome. You know, fucking awesome. Songs of the Key of Life. I mean, I could listen to that album like backwards and forwards, both records. Even the 7-inch single that comes with it. I can listen to that album all the way through. You know, love it.
I mean, this is fantastic. Deserves to be on here.
Mm-hmm.
What the
I'm a Frank Ocean fan. A lot of people do not like Frank Ocean. He's like an acquired taste. But I really do like Frank Ocean.
No. You see, this is my problem. I like the album, but top 10? No way in hell.
No. I totally agree. Not top 10.
No.
Maybe in the 30s he could have been up there. In the 30s,
exactly.
Maybe. But up here in the top 10, no, definitely not.
I mean, he's above Stevie Wonder. He's above Stevie Wonder. What the hell? He's above Stevie Wonder. This is a good
in the top 5? No. This album in the top 5. Why was not Sign of the Times above this one? I think Sign of the Times was a way better album than this one. You know, Sign of the Times should have been up here before Purple Rain.
It's for Gen Zers and they're trying to get into the music. So
it's like sometimes you got to wonder. It's like, are they trying? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tim. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's the purpose, and I think it is, and I get why it's there. But you know,
I mean, he was gonna be on here. I knew he was gonna be on here.
Well, he's already on there. That's the second one.
Okay, number 3. Okay. I get it.
Landmark album. Great.
Landmark album.
Should be higher.
But what about their other albums? None of their other albums on here? I mean, we only got Revolver and Abbey Road.
This is a problem with lists like this. What about, are you telling me that these albums are better than Sgt. Pepper?
Exactly.
We didn't get Sgt. Pepper. We didn't get Rubber Soul. We didn't get the White Album.
No, you didn't get Pepper.
I mean, we did get some.
Spent 20 years at number 1 on almost everybody's best albums of all time list on this list.
I mean, we did get the Beatles on there.
Nothing by the Who on this list. Nothing by the Kinks on this list.
Well, this is a Gen Z list. I mean,
Really? Okay, now Ray, I know you got multiple copies of this one now, Ray.
I mean, this album is great. Is it better than Off the Wall? No.
I can't. You may. For me, you may as well put Gary Glitter on this list if you're gonna have.
But if you think about it,
the guy that did Timey Tango Down Sport, might as well put him on there.
I mean, if you think about it, this album, yes.
Yeah, we could do next on this one.
I like my.
Fuck me, really?
And
that should have been in the 30s.
Are you kidding me? That doesn't.
It's a good album. No, I'll be honest, Tim. It's a good album. If you've ever listened to it, it's a really good album. But up here, no.
100 best albums ever made? I don't think so.
No, probably not. But very good album.
At best, this is a top 70 album. Not a top 50, not a top 30, a top 70.
I don't get
because it was a landmark album when it came out in 98, 99, but for it to be top 10, no.
I don't get how this is number 1 because
and to be an album that's before
number 3 for me. Number 3. There you go. There I've said it.
Yeah, number 3.
How
Number
did they come
3.
to the? How did they come?
I'll be
to
right
the
back. I've been holding a
conclusion?
pee this whole time. I'll be right back.
How did they come to the conclusion that that's the best album they consider the best album of all time?
Yeah, ever
Because
made. That's the best
I
album
mean,
ever made.
it's a great album. Don't get me wrong. It's a great Lauryn Hill album and probably her best. But it's just there's like there's like a lot of albums that should be on there. When I saw the list, I said, "Oh, Gen Z. It's definitely all Gen Z." Because this is a
Well,
list that
yeah, I
Gen Z
mean,
would
like I
like.
said, the bands that I love aren't even on it.
No, I mean this
Nobody,
list was
no
not. This
Kings.
list was catered to
No,
what the young people
nothing,
would know.
nothing from the 50s.
I don't think the 50s
Nothing.
was ever gonna make an Apple Music
Nothing
list.
from the 50s. The 50s,
No.
there wasn't one good album in the 50s.
No Elvis, no Chuck Berry, no Little
Exactly,
Richard, no
exactly.
Buddy
Not
Holly,
one
none
good
of them.
album in the 50s. And if you're going genres and stuff, I hate to say it, but Songs for Swingin' Lovers by Sinatra certainly belongs on any top 100 album list if you're going genre lists. I mean, what a great album.
I mean, if they're making a list for Gen Z, I hate to say it, but they're not gonna
We
put
didn't.
Frank on there.
There's no album by the Birds.
yeah,
Um,
all the stuff that I
there's no
listen.
album by REM. There's no album by Roxy Music. There's no album from the B-52s. Fuck.
Yeah.
It's just a list. The list
Sex
was made
Pistols,
to
never mind the
pander.
Bullets, used to be on every list. No Sex Pistols.
I don't know.
No.
This list was definitely made to pander towards Gen Z.
Oh.
It was like more of a popularity
There
list.
was Elton John Star Trekker, and it was Goodbye to Yellow Road, and there was Exile to Main Street from Rolling Stone.
Yeah, one Stones album. That's it, just one.
Yeah. Like no Let It Bleed. I mean, come on. It's just it's just a list that they want to appeal to the Urban Outfitters. That's an Urban Outfitters list. I mean,
No, you're not wrong, Lisa. I hate to say it, you're not wrong. It's
I mean,
it's a Walmart list. You can go to Walmart and buy
There wasn't even a Duran Duran on that list.
No.
Yeah. I mean, I knew a lot of the things on that
one
list.
Madonna album, and I don't think that's nearly her best album.
No, I mean,
yeah.
I mean,
Not
I know
that
a
I'm
lot.
Madonna fan, but
I looked at that list and I was like, I knew half of the stuff on that list, but then I was like, yeah, half the stuff on that list was way too high. Like Jay-Z's The Blueprint. I was like, why is that album ranked so high?
And what year-old albums on that list? The best album ever made. How do you know?
And then, to put SOS by SZA, which is an album that came out in like 2022 or 2023, is kind of interesting because that album hasn't even been
How do you know?
Yeah, I mean, I like SZA. Don't get me wrong. I love SZA. I think she has a great voice, but to put it on a list with albums that are 20 plus years old, it's just the album. If you're gonna put albums on a list, I don't even think Billie Eilish.
And then if you're gonna put that kind of stuff on the list, what about Norah Jones's first album?
Yeah, Come Away With Me was a great album.
What about I don't get it.
As I said,
we didn't even get a Bonnie Raitt album too.
As I said, the list was pandering.
An album that Full Moon Fever by Tom Petty. Really? Not
on that list? And if not Full Moon Fever, I heard
you. There's no Tom Petty on the list.
Yeah, if not Full Moon Fever, then at least Damn the Torpedoes.
Well, you see
but I mean, if you want albums that appeal to Gen Zers, Full Moon Fever is.
Yeah.
Well, I think the list is appealing to like kids between the ages of maybe like 12 to 25. But if you think about it, most of the albums on there are stuff that Gen Zers would definitely know. Most of the albums they had on there. And they picked like the most common jazz albums too.
And also there wasn't even any solo Lennon or solo McCartney. We didn't get Imagine or Double Fantasy, or we didn't get Band on the Run or
Mind Games.
Yeah, Band on the Run, not a very good album. Or Tug
of War.
before, one of the best-selling albums of all time. If that's
if we're
what
gonna
you go
talk
on,
about
Francis
album, we
Comes
didn't have
Alive.
George on there.
Yeah.
Don't need that on there.
I mean, I get what the list is trying to achieve. The list was trying to, give albums that people would definitely know. Because if we put solo McCartney and Lennon, Gen Z wouldn't know that shit. Gen Z would be like,
now what I'm starting to wonder now that we've gone through the whole list, because like I said, I tried to like be fair and I tried to like not look at the list, no spoilers. I said I'm gonna go ahead and look at the list, with everybody else on the stream. I think now now that I've seen it, I think that was more a marketing tool.
Yeah.
I don't think that was definitely, that could not have been an honest to God, ranking.
I said when you were gone.
Mm-hmm.
If you went into a good sized Walmart, you could find 90% of those albums on
exactly.
vinyl in Walmart.
It's stuff that's readily available.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like there was nothing on there. I mean, there was, like you said, there was no Kinks, there was no Raspberries, there was no anything. There was no Black Sabbath on that fucking list.
No Black Sabbath.
Nothing. It was like, it was stuff readily available shit that you would find.
I mean, and
Zofo wasn't even on that list.
Although I do understand it's like almost close to impossible to make the perfect list.
It is.
There's so much music, but
might or should know. Not an album not a group that I like or anything, but Hotel California.
Oh, it was on there.
Oh no, it was on there.
Oh, was it? Maybe I was on there before I came in.
Yeah.
It was like number 98.
But instead of like Hotel California, why wasn't it like Desperado
I came in
or?
sometime in the mid '80s.
I think it's because everybody knows Hotel California. Gen Z is like, yeah, I know that album.
I know that song. My dad played that song.
Again, not their best album, I don't think. But
I mean,
it wasn't one of these nights or
right.
Desperado.
Right.
I mean,
I like
No Lionel Richie.
I'm alone there. I think.
I mean,
On the Border's a great album too.
I get the incentive behind the list. I think the list was pandering, as I said, to people my sister's age.
Pandering to Walmart. Walmart.
If you're out there, Danielle, the list was pandering to you.
If they want to buy anything on vinyl, go into Walmart. We carry them all.
I call it Urban Outfitters because that's what I think it was pandering.
I'm thinking that it was pandering more to the casual music listener, maybe the casual purchaser of music. Yeah. It may be. I think that was more like geared towards like the person who probably has like a decent turntable. Not a very expensive turntable, maybe a couple of powered speakers, and they buy a couple of records, and they're,
I think it was streamed to people or aimed at people to stream. All the kids.
It's pandering to the LP60s.
Apple put the list out, and it's all easily available stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, one time when Amoeba,
they probably just felt like these albums are more like these will be like good access albums too for some of these artists. Like if you want to get into the Beatles, listen to Abbey Road and Revolver. From there on, you could decide whether or not you want to sample the other albums, or if you want to get into the Beach Boys, first go to Pet Sounds, and then if you like what you hear from Pet Sounds, go to Today or Summer Nights, Surfer Girl.
I would be curious to cross-reference that list with like artists that maybe Apple does not have in their streaming service. I don't think there's very many that they don't.
List matches 100%.
Yeah, I was about to say maybe there's some artists there that maybe Amazon has and Spotify has that Apple doesn't, that did not appear on the list. I wouldn't be surprised to see that.
I would guarantee that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I was surprised not to see on the list since they did have some folk artists. I didn't see Bookends by Simon and Garfunkel. Maybe that was too neat to be on their list.
There was no Simon and Garfunkel.
I mean,
not even Over Troubled Water.
Yeah,
it wasn't even
like a perfect album though. But they're not perfect albums.
I mean, they had Neil Young on there, which was surprising.
It wasn't even. There wasn't even a solo Paul Simon album. We didn't get Graceland.
No, Graceland. Yeah, if you're gonna do anything, Graceland.
I mean, when you think about it, it was kind of just really left field to have Neil Young on there. And
you know what I think it is? I think that list was not in any way trying to cater to people like us or people who are in our peanut gallery, because us people that are here, people in the peanut gallery included, we're going to buy music regardless. We will end up buying our vinyl, we'll buy our CDs, we'll buy our cassettes, we'll buy whatever it is we buy. They're not concerned about us because they know that we're going to buy.
Yeah.
We're physical buyers, probably more than likely. They're trying to go after the young kids who are sitting in their cars. They want to go ahead and they want to stream. And they go and they buy, like, you know, the latest Billie Eilish album when it comes out on vinyl. Maybe. Yeah. Because they play it, like I said, on their moderate, you know, turntable with their powered speakers, you know, type thing.
And I also have to say, too, and I think Invisible Ray might agree with this. We didn't get any Peter Gabriel. We didn't get we didn't get
no Genesis.
No Genesis, no Phil Collins. No, we didn't get no Jackie Require. We didn't get Invisible Touch or, you know.
I just think
we got none of that.
I just think that Genesis might be too.
I think if they're going to cater to kids, you know, like I think Peter Gabriel and Phil Collins would have been something like they would have sold them to.
Yeah,
like,
because Genesis.
Listen to these albums, you know.
Genesis is just too.
Damn it! I didn't get any of my Depeche Mode. Damn it! Don't tell me Violator doesn't make a list.
Yeah.
Right.
I know Violator is I know Violator is the one album that always makes the list because I mean you got to think about Violator had Personal Jesus, which was the greatest selling to this day. It is the greatest selling 12-inch in Warner Brothers history.
Gen Z loves Violator by Depeche Mode. In fact, most of Gen Z, they're like, when you ask them what their favorite Depeche Mode album is, they'll probably say Violator. I just think
that... now Star Trek. I'm trying to say you're saying unpopular opinion here, right?
I just think that Genesis would have been too big of a band for Gen Z to understand. That's why they didn't put Genesis.
AZ, I could see why they didn't give us Rush or T-Rex, but I am baffled that we didn't get Queen. At least Night the Opera.
I mean, you know, they put bands on there that didn't require. They put albums on there that did not require a lot of thinking. You notice that they put albums on there that everybody would know.
Right? Where the fuck is Bruce Hornsby?
Yeah.
Where the fuck is Bruce Hornsby?
Oh, he's at Amanda's prom. And you know what? I was surprised we didn't get any Whitney Houston on there. Like what?
No Whitney Houston.
No Whitney Houston.
And there was no Mariah Carey either.
No Mariah Carey.
The Bruce Hornsby wasn't on the list. That's just the way it is.
And
we also did not get no Britney Spears, no Christina Aguilera, either.
Goodness.
I'm surprised they didn't put it.
The New Kids on the Block was coming up or something, and I'm like, oh God, no.
I mean, you know what's another group that came to mind that I was surprised not to see on there? No, not One Direction. Where were Smashing Pumpkins? Where's Smashing Pumpkins on
Okay, yeah, true.
No Smashing Pumpkins. We didn't get we didn't get Garbage.
And why didn't we get Gen Z's favorite band?
Those aren't the greatest.
I knew I thought they were going to be on there because I know Gen Z loves the shit out of these two bands. It's Imagine Dragons and Maroon 5.
Why? I mean, it's like, you know, I'm pretty sure, you know, every list is going to disappoint some people. You know, you can't stick everybody in there. But it's just that, like, some of the people in that list did not. I mean, like, come on now. There was some bands we had never even fucking heard of that were on that list.
Holy fuck. I realized that there's also two bands that are not on there that I truly fucking love. We didn't get Sublime. No. And we did not get No Doubt. How the fuck do you leave out
Roxy Music? We got Roxy Music.
We didn't get Everlong.
XTC.
Come on, you guys are forgetting. You guys are forgetting.
At least.
You guys are forgetting the band that definitely should have been on there because Gen Z would have loved the fuck out of it. You know what it is? It just turned 30 years old. Weezer's The Blue Album.
Oh yeah, Weezer too. Yeah. You know, but like I said, no list can be complete. You know, but it could have been a lot better. You know. Because every list is basically a starting off point for discussion.
Another thing I noticed. Okay, if you're putting all this modern music on and blah 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 blah, did you notice there was an absence of a whole genre on this list? You're including rap, you're including jazz. Okay, so you're crossing genres. There wasn't one country album on there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. That too. No Hank Williams.
Whether classic,
no Willie Nelson. No Dolly Parton.
No Dwight
Yoakam album was on there.
I mean, come on.
There's no Garth Brooks, but we did get Casey Musgraves. But
Well,
But Casey
I didn't know
Musgraves
that
is
was
not
country.
really
I'd never heard of
country
that
anymore.
there's no
But she's
Shania
Gen
Twain.
Z.
There's no Shania Twain.
You know.
Nothing.
And that would have been like an easy access right there. Or Leanne Rhyme.
I mean, we didn't get "Hit Me, Baby, One More Time," which was pretty
At least we,
iconic in its
at least we
time.
didn't get. At least we didn't get Billy Ray Cyrus.
I for sure thought, I know I'm going to say this, I for sure thought the self-titled by Vampire Weekend would be on there because that is very...
You know, Star Trekker, he's right. What about, you know, I know he's making a joke about this, but Def Leppard, what about Def Leppard? Why? What about most of the people from that genre? What about, like, there was a lot of bands from that genre, you know, the hair metal bands.
I don't think
we didn't get no Van Halen.
Iron Maiden, no Iron Maiden, no Van Halen, no Judas Priest. Most of the ones that you usually in the period from, you know.
Wasn't much 80s either, really. I mean, straight ahead, you know, you know, the first Men at Work album, for example. You know, none of that kind of stuff.
We didn't get Men at Work. We didn't get Talk Talk, and sadly, we didn't get Level 42.
No,
that
you
too.
know,
No Level 42.
You know what?
No Deep Purple. No deeper. I know. No, the Guess Who. It's like, you know what? I understand when you're narrowing it down to 100, but if you think about it, so okay, they only had 100 albums to work with. I understand that, but they had probably at least about 20 fucking throwaways, 20 that were like where we went, what the fuck?
Yeah.
No Creedence Clearwater Revival.
That too.
No Burning.
No Leonard Skinner.
Most of the 60s bands aren't there. Most of them.
And you know what's the thing about it? There was one guy that was never going to give up on them, and they didn't put him on there. Rick Astley. He was never going to give up on them.
Okay, Lisa's pulling out her brick wall. She's making her jokes again. I need to get a picture of that freaking gorilla making that face.
Yeah. Including a solo career, Eric Clapton was in 5 bands. Not on that list.
No
Yardbirds, no Cream, no Blind Faith.
I don't make
no
good
Derek Dominoes.
Yeah, no Derek and the Dominoes.
Oh,
he did more than that.
Wait.
No John Mayo, solo, nothing.
You know what? I was also Lisa can't make good jokes, but she left.
There was no Delaney and Bonnie, and apparently, Eric Clapton was also on "All Things Must Pass" by George Harrison.
But there was one.
Groups is actually a part of, not that he played with.
You know who I was surprised not to see on there, and I think should have been on there. You guys are gonna probably roast me for this, but Dookie by Green Day, because I feel like that would have totally been up.
It wasn't Green Day. At least American Idiot.
At least American Idiot, yeah.
Or
at least
Dookie.
American Idiot.
American Idiot, Dookie.
I would say American Idiot probably more than Dookie, because I think American Idiot was more.
I mean, they had one Clash album, but you know, what about any of the first 4 Ramones albums? Could be.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there was no Ramones.
No Sex Pistols.
No Sex Pistols. No Ramones. No Sex Pistols. But like I said, you narrow it down to 100. It's like you could turn around and say it's hard to narrow it down to 100, but like I said, there was 20 throwaways that could have been used a lot better.
Again, we already said this, but REM. You know, REM, the band that ruled the 80s and the 90s, and no REM.
I mean, if you think
and
about it.
And if you're going to put in REM, no 10,000 Maniacs as well.
Well,
my band.
You see, the thing about it is.
Not even the Nelly Merchant album.
No, the thing about it is when it came to the Beatles, I for sure thought that Sgt. Pepper was going to be the one that they were going to use, because that's the album that everybody knows.
Greatest albums ever made, and not put Sgt. Pepper at least on it.
Yeah.
How is that?
If you were going to have like a Spanish singer, I'm surprised that there's no either Gloria Estefan or at least Selena.
I'm wondering if there's going to be any kind of like because I know there's going to be some kind of there's going to be some kind of backlash on this, and I just from researching it when I was looking for the link, I was seeing a lot of backlash already, like people that were upset about it. I'm wondering if they're going to, I'm not saying recount their list, but if they're going to end up making any kind of comments about their list, because they really did do some jackassing there. When it came to that list.
Let's talk about the thing that's happening right now that I'm really happy about. I don't know if you guys have heard about it, but they're suing Live Nation, and they're going against Live Nation and Ticketmaster, because Ticketmaster and Live Nation has been charging crazy hidden fees for their tickets. So they're now finally going after it. But is it going to happen? Is it going to change? Probably not.
You know, I'm going to tell you something. Here's what's going to happen with that whole thing, with the Ticketmaster thing, is it's going to go around in circles for the next decade.
Yeah, yeah.
And then what's going to happen is they're going to turn around, they're going to reduce some of the rates. But Ticketmaster, for the next 10 years, they're going to continue to fucking be fucking the music fans when they want to go see live music. You know, and it's not going to matter. They're going to keep on fucking us. And then finally, at the end, they're going to try and say, oh, what? Oh, we're sorry. So we have to pay like $3 or $4 million, which ain't even a fucking drop of piss for them.
No.
Yeah. This was big on the radio. The day that they decided to shut everything down for the pandemic, it came out that just in concerts alone, and I don't know if it was everybody that does tickets or just one, but they said that $4 billion had been lost, and that was just their money. That was just the profit of the ticket sellers.
Yeah.
In one day, $4 billion was lost in one day. It's like, no, they're not overcharging or anything like that, you know.
And I'm going to tell you something. They turn around, and all these fucking music artists, when they turn around and they fucking lifted restrictions where they were going to be able to play again, they were all coming out saying, oh, we're coming out because we miss you, the fans. We miss seeing you. Yeah. We're recording our new album because No, fuck you. You lost money over the past 4 years, and now it's time to come butt rape us all again. That's what you want to do. You want to come out here and you're like, I need the money. I need the money. I need the money. That's what it basically was. You know, even my favorite bands, 21 Pilots, all these guys, you know what, they turn around, we miss you guys so much. We miss the fans. No, you don't miss us. You miss the paydays, and you've been sitting there with whatever money you had from the last tour 4 years ago, trying to make it stretch with you and your kids and your family. And now you're like, we need a payday. We need a payday, honey. We need to pay for all these expensive cars and houses.
Really playing live and miss the fans were the ones on YouTube making videos at home for free.
Exactly, the ones who were doing the in-home performances.
Actually miss the fans, you know. And I gotta hand it to Billy Joe. You know, he was the leader of that whole thing. His what was it? Something Mondays.
Star Trekker, don't give him ideas.
What did he call that thing? No, something Mondays. And he would come out with a cover every Monday, and that was great. But other people started doing it too. Lots of people actually.
I mean,
there were a lot of bands that were doing small concerts. Like they would go ahead and they'd be like, you know, and they would do it remote. You know, they're doing small concerts where they were doing like a show where they would do like maybe 4 or 5 songs, just to let the fans know, you know what, we're here. And, you know, we're going through it too, people, you know.
Like, there was the Pretenders did a show in just a field somewhere. They set up and they did just a few songs, you know. And, you know, and then there was a lot of people that were really scared, and I don't blame them. But they made a video, you know, those videos where there's 6 squares and everybody's in a square, you know, and they put it on, you know. Those are the people that actually cared about their fans, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because in, like, you figure 2000, like, as soon as we got all the vaccinations in, 2022, 2022, I think was the year, I want to say. No, when all of us started getting the vaccinations?
Well, yeah, but in 2021 is when I went to my very first concert back.
Yeah, because I know that at the same time, it seemed like everybody was releasing albums.
Yeah.
Everybody was announcing they were going on tour. You know, it was like the weekend of freaking 21 Pilots and Panic at the Disco. Everybody was going on tour.
I saw 21 Pilots in 2021. I saw them at the Wiltern.
Yeah, as soon as it was possible, man, they all ran. They all ran and started going on tour.
I mean, that's probably the reason why I haven't gone to a lot of concerts, because the price of buying one ticket, I know that when I probably go to buy when I go to 21 Pilots, I know the concert tickets is going to be at least over 100. I'm prepared for that. But the thing about it is, with the price and the rising cost of concert tickets, it's just making me go to concerts less and less, because I'm just like, I don't want to.
It's too fucking expensive. It's too expensive. It's like to go buy. You know, if you end up going with you and you take somebody else with you, and by the time you end up getting, you buy your tickets, which but tickets could be like anywhere $600-$700 for 2 tickets.
Yeah.
In decent seats. We're not even talking like up front.
Yeah.
Before you would pay like $100-$200, and you were basically right there in the band's face.
Yeah.
Now $100-$200, you're fucking upstairs. It doesn't matter. You're still upstairs for $100-$200.
I know.
By the time you pay that, by the time you go and you buy a couple of snacks, you go and you buy a couple of beers, you buy a couple of sodas, that's another $30.
And then don't forget the merch. The merch.
And then you go buy a T-shirt. A T-shirt's like about $40. You go buy the poster, it's like $20. By the time you buy all that shit, by the time you are done for the evening, you've dropped $1,000.
Because my friend was talking to me, and my friend goes, and she says to me, she goes, "Did you buy your tickets for 21 Pilots yet?" I go, "No, I'm gonna wait around." She goes, "I panic bought them," and I was like, "That was me in the past. I was the same as her. I would panic buy things." I
never
remember.
Panic buy.
No, when 21 Pilots came out here to the Wiltern, right? I panic buy because I knew they were never gonna do another small venue like that again. So I spent. I think for that concert, I spent at least $130 for 2 tickets.
Well, that's a different situation. When it's a small venue like that, like the Troubadour or a small venue, then you got to jump on it.
Yeah.
But if it's someplace like they're playing, the Kia, or the Crypto Arena or some shit, you can wait.
They're playing that new place that just opened up.
You've
got to open up.
Because I can guarantee you, when it gets to the end, when they're getting close to showtime, they're going to try and sell tickets like crazy because they want the place to look full.
Yeah.
They want the place, and they can say, and I'm sorry, but they're really quick to throw out, sell out. We're sold out. They're not always sold out.
I mean, the thing about concerts, I want to enjoy them, but when you get done with all the service fees, the online fees for online tickets, it's just, you might as well just stay home and watch it in the comfort of your own home and not have to spend the money
anymore. You don't even get a free souvenir anymore.
I know. Yeah, they stopped doing that. I think about maybe 5 or 7 years ago or 10 years ago.
Wasn't Beyonce the shithead who was turning around? She was selling fans tickets in seats that were blocked and obstructed views.
It was Taylor Swift.
Where you were able to hear her, but you wouldn't be able to see her, and people were still paying money for that shit.
Yeah.
I mean that when I heard that so pissed me off. What I think they should do. This is what I think they should do. If they were smart, they would go ahead and they would sell their tickets to the people that want to be there. Okay, go ahead and hump them in the ass all you want, take their money. But they should do a live stream too. I would do a live stream where I would try and say, listen, for each home that wants to purchase my live stream, I'm going to charge you $30.
Yeah.
And my show will be live streamed, professionally shot, multi-angle, and you'll see a live stream of my show when I'm in your town.
Yeah.
$30, But I think if that was to happen, a lot of people would be like, fuck that. I'm going to go to the store and buy some snacks. I'm going to go buy a 12-pack of beer, and I'll sit at home for $30 and watch it on my big screen TV. I think that's the reason why they won't do it. It's like, I can just watch them come into town, watch them on big screen TV, and then I'll go ahead and I'll capture it and I'll put it all over YouTube. So I think that's the reason why they don't do it.
I mean, there's a lot of concerts. There's one thing I think Dusty can agree with me that I will probably never go to again because it's just not for me, the festival lifestyle. I did that. I walked it. My knees were in pain. I felt like I was dying, but I did it. And I just think the festival lifestyle is good for some people, but just not for me.
Oh, Dark Waves killed my knees, but you know what? I pushed through it because I wanted to see a lot. I wanted to see New Order. I wanted to see Tears for Fears.
But you gotta admit, it was a good time. And would you do it again? Would you go?
I probably would do it again. I mean, the 2 days after that, if you had asked me like the day after that, I probably said never fucking again.
Yeah,
but now in retrospect, and I'm like, I'm glad I went.
Now that I think of, but looking at the fact that We Are Young is going to do the entirety of some of my favorite emo bands, I'm like, would my knees push through for that? Hell yeah, because let's just say there are certain festivals that maybe my knees would be like, Lisa, you need to be there. You need to be there. Like if Warped Tour happened again, hell yeah, I'd be there.
Tim, you're more liking to like local shows and stuff like that, aren't you?
Well, yeah, I was just thinking. I miss, this was huge in the '90s. I could see any band at a very small venue at a very cheap price. A lot of times, like $20. I saw the Kinks for $20. Saw Warren Zevon 3 times for $20. Saw the Brian Setzer Orchestra in this tiny little place, and then they moved to a bigger place the next time they
Yeah.
came because they couldn't even leave for an encore. For an encore, they just sat there like this. they couldn't leave. Their bandstand literally went from one side of the stage to the other, touching both sides of the stage. They had to climb the bandstand. Oh, so Setzer went down into the crowd and smoked a cigarette, and then came back up and kept going.
I mean, those are the best shows. The ones where you see them at a small venue.
The last, I was just thinking, it was the late '90s. I think was the last time I was in a stadium, and it was this free thing that a local radio station put on, and the headliners were God, what's that? We didn't even stay for them because I don't. My wife liked them, but I don't. The Ants Marching. Who is that?
Oh, Dave Matthews Band.
Dave Matthews Band. I didn't even stay for them.
College favorite.
And I saw Blues Traveler.
Ooh.
And,
okay.
And Matthew Street. Matthew Street. Yeah, Matthew Sweet. I wanted to see Matthew Sweet. That's why I wanted to go to this thing. And I saw Matthew Sweet, and then we saw most of Blues Traveler, I think, and then we left. The sound was bad. I'm like, why do people go to these? We'd been going to see these small little shows, and in DC at that time, I could see anybody I wanted to see pretty much in a small little place.
I love Blues Traveler.
We did. You know, I mean, I saw Jonathan Richman multiple times. I saw Nick Lowe, you know, my favorite people. I saw Alex Chilton, thank goodness, before he passed. I saw the Soft Boys on their reunion tour.
I'll be right back. Hold on.
Which was great. They were fantastic. What a tight-knit band. I don't even know. I've seen so many bands.
I mean, what's the last concert you've been to, Tim? What's the last concert you remember that you went to?
It's been so long. There was a blues guy. I can't remember his name. He's a harmonica player. I'm trying to think if that was the last. No, Walter Trout was the last one, I think, after that, who's another blues guy. 2 blues guys. Nothing since then, and that was 15 years ago now, probably, or more. Because nothing plays by me. I'm not near any place. And before that, the last one probably was the Soft Boys reunion tour, and that was quite a long time ago. But I've seen over 100, you know, easily over 100 acts.
Yeah, Star Trekker. No one's paying to see Michael Bolton.
Actually, I did. In 1998, I saw them for Resurrection. I didn't see them after that. I haven't seen them recently because the thing is, for Resurrection, I saw them with everything I wanted to see them play. They played, you know, and that was pretty much, I think, the Go Away White period too. So it's like they played a couple of the new songs, but all the main songs I wanted to see them for was 98 for Resurrection. So they were kind of rusty though. Yeah, Daniel Ash and them, very rusty. Christopher said Matthew Sweet is great.
I love Matthew.
Great. Has Tim seen Tom Waits?
Nope, I've never seen Tom Waits.
Never?
Never. But I've seen a lot of artists, and like I said, a lot of them, small places. Oh, no, I'll tell you, though, I just remember the last show I saw was actually the day Tom Petty died. It was, what are they called? Why can't I think of the name of the group? It was Tommy Stinson from The Replacements, his band. And it was the day Tom Petty died, and it was really sad because Tommy Stinson had toured with Tom Petty and, you know, knew him. And he walks up and like, this is a sad day, guys, but we're just gonna get through this. We're gonna do it. We're gonna get through it. You know, why can't I think of the name of that band? It starts with a B, I think.
Like, not to cut you off, Tim. Not to cut you off, Tim, but I'd recently seen somebody do a video recently where they were talking about the Replacements, and they were talking about how Saturday Night Live had banned them because I think it was Stinson had turned around and he had shown his balls on live TV.
No, that wasn't it.
Wasn't it?
No. Tommy Stinson's brother. Why can't Bob Stinson kept swearing he didn't care. He kept he'd scream fucking stuff in the middle of a song, and Westerberg told him not to do it again for the next song, and he did it again anyway, and then that was it. They were gone. But it was him. Westerberg did Saturday Night Live twice, I think, after that as a solo person. So he
now, which one of the Stinsons was the one that passed away?
And that's Bob.
Bob
was a big drug guy.
Okay.
Yeah, but they had the best costume change ever for a band between sets on Saturday Night Live. They just put on each other's clothes. You watch the two songs and you're like, wait a minute. This is the same clothes, they're just on different people. It was brilliant. Like, these guys are brilliant, man.
I'm kind of curious if I can look that up and, see a list of people who've been banned from SNL.
It's on YouTube.
I know Sinead O'Connor was banned. That's all I know.
But yeah, and I did get to see the Replacements twice or three times. Well, you guys know I went out drinking after one of the shows with Westerberg. One of the coolest things that ever happened to me. And I was supposed to see him solo once, and we had an ice storm that night, and we didn't go. And I regret it to this day because I never saw him again. I never had the chance. I've seen so many people in Buffalo too on little stages. I got to see the Bengals, got to see Johnny Thunders. But I've said before, my favorite show is in London, at the old BBC Two Theatre, Costello. We just walked in, literally we're leaning on the stage. It was the best night. Costello's right up there. Hi, Elvis. Hi. It was freaking, because British people, they had seats like 100 feet back, and the British people all go for the seats. They want to be comfortable. And you could tell who was American. The Americans all raced for the stage. And there were so few people around the stage that we went and got a couple beers and came back and set our beers on the stage. And just, it was great. It was fantastic. It doesn't happen in America. You can't do that there. But here, but there, it was awesome.
Let me see here. There's a complete list.
Actually, because in 2019, I believe, I was in LA. I was spending my birthday with my parents, and they bought me tickets to see 10,000 Maniacs at what is that venue called? The Terragram Ballroom.
Yeah.
And it was a thing where I was right there at the stage, and I was looking up at 10,000 Maniacs performing. So they saw me. They're like, "Hey, Paulina," and they're like, "Hey, how are you guys?" So I was like, I rushed to the stage. I was like, I want to be right there on the stage, and it was so cool because I'm part of a group on Facebook. We're called the 10,000 Maniacs Stalkers, and so I was able to meet some of the other stalkers that are from LA, and I was like, "Hey, I remember you on Facebook. Yeah, cool." So we're right there at the stage, just watching our favorite band perform, and it was beautiful.
Yeah, I've only been to Terragram Ballroom twice. I think twice or one time.
I just remember this one show I went to. It was the strangest thing. And the only time I've ever been in there, the Trafalmador in Buffalo. It's this place with these red velvet curtains and red velvet carpets, and it's you pay to get in, and there's a 2-drink minimum. Okay, it's that kind of place. You sit at a table. It's a 2-drink minimum, and the band we went to see was the Liars, which is one of the first garage revival bands. And it's these guys in ripped jeans playing, 60s garage a la Standells and stuff at this place. And they all walked out on the stage and they're looking around and they're like, what the hell are we? The lead singer actually said, what the hell are we doing here? It's just like, what the hell is this? And you literally had to get 2 drinks. It was like, oh my God, it was the weirdest thing. But it was a great show. So what a weird venue. I saw lots of shows like that too. Weird places, weird,
I mean, I've been to pretty much every LA venue, I think, out here. Well, let me think. Which one I have? No, I haven't been to SoFi. I haven't been to BMO. I haven't been to the new Inuit one that's going to open up. I'm going to be at that one. I'm thinking what else. There's other stadiums that have recently opened that I haven't been to, but when you've seen so many shows, you kind of lose track of who you've seen live. Like, I'll look back at concerts that I went to, and I'll be like...
I forget some. I counted over 100 at one point, though. But
yeah, because, like, I'll look back and I'll be like, wait, I saw that artist?
I have been to the Troubadour. I have seen Depeche Mode at the Troubadour, and I went to the James Taylor Carole King show at the Troubadour. So I've been there quite a few times.
Yes, I have.
As far as Los Angeles venues, I think I've gone to most of them. I've gone to the Palladium, the Palace, John Anson Ford Theater, John Anson Ford Amphitheater, Hollywood Bowl. You've been there.
Yeah, billions of times.
Let me see, where else have I gone to?
I mean, I'll name the ones that I've been to. I've been to the
Whiskey multiple times. Been to the Wiltern. I've been to the Wiltern.
I've been to the Echo. I've been to the Terragram Ballroom. I've been to the Region.
Been there. I don't think I've ever gone to the Echo.
The Echo? Yeah, well,
I don't think I've ever gone to the Echo.
I've been to the Region. I went to the Roxy. I've been to the Kia Forum. I've been to Crypto Arena. Where else have I? Oh, I've been to, of course. Let me think where else I've been to. God, there's like so many places, and I'm like blanking out on all the places I've been to. But the one I've been to the most is probably the Wiltern. I've been there so many times. But my favorite is the Hollywood Bowl. I mean, you can't beat the Hollywood Bowl. You're out there. You get to bring your own food in. I went to the Hollywood Bowl one time and I brought some Taco Bell in because I was like, yeah, I'm not going to pay for Hollywood Bowl food.
Surprisingly, I'm like very surprised that I thought it was a large list of musicians who were banned from Saturday Night Live.
Oh.
It's actually a small list. There's only like about 8 of them.
Yeah,
I thought it was like, I was thinking it was a long list.
To be banned. We all know what Elvis did.
It says, weird. Oh, my internet is just like total crap. I swear. Okay.
Your internet's telling you, hey,
I
don't want to work for you today.
I froze. Okay, let's see here. We have... Oh my God, this freaking internet is going to piss me off. Okay, let's see. Fear, 1981. I didn't even know that Fear had ever been on Saturday Night Live.
No.
That is like pretty like crazy to me. The Replacements, 1986. Okay, there we go.
You missed the first one. Elvis Costello, first one.
Yeah. It was Elvis. What I have is Elvis Costello.
Yeah.
And then it was Sinead O'Connor.
Yeah.
Sinead O'Connor.
Yeah.
Then after Sinead O'Connor, Fear in 1981. Then you have The Replacements, 1986. Rage Against the Machine, 1996.
Not surprised. Not surprised.
Okay. Cypress Hill, 1993.
Wow. They were not jumping around on that stage.
David Bowie is a question mark. It is funny. It says, David Bowie, not one to be ordered around, was once allegedly banned from performing on Saturday Night Live after an act of defiance resulted in him being escorted off the premises. After planning to do a number of comedy sketches and performances, Bowie's rocky relationship with executive producer Lorne Michaels ended in a 3-year ban for the starman who couldn't resist taking a swipe at his old friend. The gist was that I was somehow roped into a low-budget telly advert for a Brooklyn bakery, Bowie later explained. They wanted me to sing about their pastries or what have you. One of the things they came up with was a version of my song, Watch That Man, but instead, in the chorus, I would sing Try Our Flan. While singing off on the new humorous lyrical adjustment, Bowie had an issue with how the producers wanted him to pronounce the word flan, which sparked a troublesome back and forth which developed into numerous different issues through the week's planning. David is a man of the world. Producer Lorne Michaels would later say of the issue, he's seen it all and he takes food very seriously. I get that. But when you are running a big live production like we are, last-second changes can be complicated. David Bowie is not about to let somebody tell him what to do creatively and knowing... Blah, 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 blah. Well, anyways, supposedly, he wasn't fully banned. Let's just say that.
Frank Zappa.
Yeah, it says Frank Zappa was banned. Okay, who else?
But the thing about Elvis Costello was that he wasn't fully banned either because he ended up going back to perform
he was
in
banned
the
for
90s.
years. Yeah, he didn't show up again till the late 80s or early 90s.
Yeah, early 90s because he went up with Beastie Boys and they ended up doing radio again.
Well, no, before he was there. Before that, he promoted his Mighty Like a Rose album there in like '93, something like that. But it had been all that time, and Roy Orbison had died, and I think he wound up with Roy Orbison's leather jacket that you see in a lot of his stuff, because he's wearing a leather jacket, and I'm like, that looks a lot like Roy Orbison's jacket that he's got on. French sleeve, black leather jacket. I'm like, I think he's wearing Roy's jacket. Anyway.
Yeah, you know, Star Trekker. That was a pretty. When I saw the performance live on TV, I was like, I felt bad for her.
Here's a question I had for you guys. Have any of you guys ever been to like what you might call an exclusive concert? Like this band's only going to play 3 or 4 shows or a one-off or something like that. Ever get lucky enough to be at something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
A couple that I can mention off the top of my head was Depeche Mode back in 1997. I got to go to an ultra party, which was at the Roxy, where they... Dave Gahan, the lead singer, had just come off of drugs and he didn't want to go on a full-on tour. So for the latest album they had out, they did what they called ultra parties, which were small venues, and they did a show at the Roxy. And I was able, luckily, to get tickets through K-Rock. And I think there was only like a few hundred people there. So there was that. Panic at the Disco. We won tickets to see them at the Observatory, where it was only a few hundred people. So yeah, I've been to a couple of exclusive shows. Yeah, but I think that was about it. Yeah, and I think those 2 maybe. You know, Lisa.
Huh?
Yeah, Lisa.
Have you been to any exclusive shows? Lisa's all no, but I give exclusive shows. OnlyFans.com.
I mean, I've seen some artists before they were big.
Yeah, but no, I'm talking like I'm just gonna do. The reason I bring it up because I got to see one, which is and I'm not talking about somebody shows up at a record store or something. I've seen that too. I saw Ray Davies do a 45-minute set at a record store, which was really cool. But I'm not counting that. But I got to see the Elvis Costello Burt Bacharach tour. They only did 4 shows worldwide.
Wow.
4. That's it, worldwide, and I was at one of those. That I was like, And I had a boss that was a huge Elvis Costello fan. He's like,
Mm-hmm.
"You went to that? How the hell did you get tickets?" He was so mad at me. I'm like, "Yeah, I
You know
got
what,
to see Burt
Tim?
Bacharach." And that was the one for me. That was just like, holy shit.
You know what, Tim? I wanted to see Elvis Costello so bad. I've never seen Elvis Costello,
My
and I think
favorite
it was
show of
in.
all time.
I
But
think it was like
that
maybe
one.
around 96, 97, maybe.
That's the show.
Yeah, it
In
was
London.
that year. Elvis Costello, I think, was on tour. I think, and also The Cure was on tour at that time.
The last tour with the Attractions.
Yeah, and me and my the kid's mom at that time, we had a friend whose name was Kathy Stebbins, and she was like really, really close friends with us. And she used to do this thing where she was able to get tickets really, really cheap. She had a connection, and she got tickets for The Cure. And I remember this was probably during like Wish or some shit like that, the Wish tour, and she only had 2. So she'd asked me if I wanted to go, and I was like, "Fuck yeah, I'm gonna go see The Cure." So I went to go see The Cure. Now, my kid's mother has never seen The Cure, but I had never really thought about that. I thought that she had. I assumed she had, because she's seen all the other bands way before me. So I assumed that she had. So I went to the show, whatever. Of course, she was being really shitty about it. She's like, yeah, well, whatever. You get to see the show.
You didn't take her?
No, because we only had 2 tickets. Okay, get this. Maybe about a month later, a month and a half later, maybe 2 months later, Stebbins gets tickets for Elvis Costello.
Yeah.
Right? And again, she's like, oh, well, she's kind of like, well, I took you to The Cure, so maybe I should take Tina to this. Because like I said, she was a friend of both of ours. So I think I'm going to take Tina to this. And I was like, are you serious? My kid's mother does not like Elvis Costello. She does not like him. She is like said straight up, I do not. But she went out of spite.
That's my kind of person.
She went out of spite. And to this day, she has never seen The Cure. I've never seen Elvis Costello. And every time one of their music videos pops up on TV or whatever, she turns around, she like fucking will turn around and look at me in my face and go, Elvis Costello was really good live. You know that? I'll be like, well, so was The Cure.
That's what you get.
Went with somebody else on the tour before that one. And I was like, oh my God, I want to
that's what you get for not taking to The Cure.
And so then she surprised me when we went to London. She's like, by the way, we have something to do. And I'm like, what? And she's like, I got 2 tickets for Elvis Costello. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And it was the best. It turned out to be the best show I've ever seen. And at that time, every week for 4 weeks in England, they were coming out with a new single from his album with 3 unreleased B-sides. And he opened up, it was the second week. So he opened up with the first 2 singles, which was just cool. And then he went into his regular set. But I mean, it was just so cool. And I could smell his perfume. That's how close I was to him. I could smell his cologne.
Jeez.
It was just amazing.
And it was like so funny because
in the States, and it wasn't nearly as good. In fact, we left early. My wife didn't feel good, and I'm like, that's okay. Ron Sexsmith opened for him in the States, and I'm a huge, and she went somewhere else, and I just sat there close to the stage because I was paying attention and watched Ron Sexsmith, and then we basically laughed.
You know what's like so funny? It's like during the early 2000s, it's like, it got to a point with The Cure where I don't know if like Robert Smith was living here. I don't know which member of The Cure it was that was living here, but it seemed like The Cure was playing like every weekend somewhere in LA for like maybe a period of like 3 to 4 years. It seemed like every weekend it's like The Cure's playing where? The Cure's playing where? They were playing all over town, and you were able to see them at these little shows and shit like that. But Elvis Costello has eluded me. I've never seen him.
Yeah, you didn't get to see him.
You pull a lot of songs out of his back pocket that you don't expect him to do, and he's an interesting guy. Like I have one video, he's playing somewhere like down in Mississippi or something. This club in Mississippi, and the day before you see it on the extras on the the special features on the video. He goes into this store and sees this guitar, and on the tag says George Harrison's second guitar. Or first guitar, maybe. And it was. It's not that guitar, but it's the same thing that George had. This cheap thing that, when he was. And Elvis is like, okay, I'm buying that. And then he does the show, and he brings it on stage with him. And he plays it for a couple songs and says, I want to show you guys something. There's a reason I bought this guitar. He's like, this guitar does something really special that almost
watch,
no
wait a
guitars do.
Wait, not to cut you off, Tom. Tim, watch. Listen to this. Watch. You guys are going to crack up this. Tina, what did you think of Elvis Costello live?
He fucking sucked.
See what I
mean? He was very fucking boring.
But why did you go? Why did you go?
Despite because you went to the Cure.
She never let it go. It's been like fucking 20 years.
Never.
No,
I have never seen the Cure, and you went because you're being an asshole. I should have went. So I went, and I knew you wanted to see Elvis Costello, so I said, fuck you, and I went. And I didn't enjoy myself.
Let me ask you a question. All the times that the Cure came to LA, why didn't you take her?
It is what it is.
Oh, she's saying all the times that the Cure came to LA, why didn't I take you? Because she was not worth it. That's why.
Oh, but you are such a.
How about that? In between days, bitch. In between days.
Damn, you two are fucking ruthless. Damn.
See what I mean? See what I mean? She's like, he sucked live, but I went because you went to the Cure. Damn, she's on that Lisa plan.
So anyway, he's got George Harrison.
Damn straight, I taught her well.
Right? And he goes, okay, this guitar does something that almost no other guitar does. And I'm going to show you in the middle of this song. So he straps on the guitar and he starts playing Hidden Charms by Howlin' Wolf, which was on his Kojak Variety album. And he plays like the first verse. Then he stops playing the guitar. He steps away from the mic and he holds the guitar up to his face and he's using it as a mic. And he sings the rest of the song into the guitar. The pickups are so cheap on this guitar, they're like a mic. And he
they're
sings
freaking microphonic.
The whole song. It's on the video. He's putting the song into the guitar. And it's all distorted and it's really cool. And then at the end, he puts the guitar back down. He starts playing again. And it's just like, and he's the only guitar player in the band. So there's no guitar going on the whole time he's singing this song. That's what I love about him. He's a creative guy.
I know. One day, Dusty will get to see him.
And he's great to see live.
Well, Dusty could see Elvis Costello now because he's on tour at the moment, along with John Oates' former partner.
What? With who?
John Oates, former partner.
Daryl Hall?
Yeah.
No way, really?
Yeah, they're on tour together, Daryl Hall and Elvis Costello. With the Attractions.
They did, what was that song? The Only Flame in Town together. They're friends.
I'll be right back. Hold on. I gotta use the little boy's room. Be right back.
Okay. Well, his ex-wife might be like, no, you're not seeing Elvis Costello. We live under the same roof. I can stop you from buying that concert ticket. Yeah.
The Bacharach show was weird though, because he used Bacharach's band, and when they played their songs from the two albums that they did together, they were together. But when Elvis did his songs, Bacharach left, and the orchestra left too. And then when Bacharach did his set, Elvis and his band left. It was really weird. So they didn't do the whole thing together. And then towards the end of Bacharach's set, Elvis comes on and they sang a couple of songs together. But for half the show, they didn't play together.
Yeah, no, Pauline, you shouldn't have said
but
that.
It was
because
weird
now he's gonna
because
see it.
Steve Naive got to do a song by himself, and he got more applause than Bacharach. It was kind of sad.
I mean, if you think about it, it's a weird combination: Burt Bacharach and Elvis Costello.
Well, they did 2 albums together, so it's not.
I don't know.
It's not that weird.
I mean, not weird, but have you ever seen a group and then you see the person that opens up for them, and you're like, what the heck? Like this.
But it would have been interesting to have Bacharach sing with him on a Costello song or two, but he didn't. It didn't happen. Elvis did sing on a Bacharach song or two, but it didn't happen.
It kind of makes sense because they did play. They also did play together on. I think it was like the second Austin Powers movie.
Yeah, they did that too.
They did. What do you get when you? I'll never fall in love again.
I prefer Bacharach and the Posies, though. That would, to me, was just amazing. What the hell are the Posies doing with Burt Bacharach? Outstanding.
It's just crazy.
And I'm a huge Posies fan, and I did get to see them once, and I thought they split up. I'm watching the end of the Posies here. Ken Stringfellow and the drummer got in a fight towards the end of the show, and he actually took his guitar and whipped it around a couple times and threw it into the drum set. The drummer jumped out of the way and smashed the drum set to pieces. I'm like, well, this show's over.
I go to use the restroom, and this witch is over in the other room talking about every day I write the book.
Oh. And we laughed, right? I'm telling a Posey story, but I thought they were going to put up. And Ken Stringfellow threw his guitar into the drums and ruined the drums. And I'm like, okay, show's over. And we laughed. And we heard on the radio the next day, they came back out, just the two main guys, and did an acoustic set that was just phenomenal. And we missed it.
You know what? My dad just messaged me because I had posted a picture of the 21 Pilots album. He says, it looks like someone had a nosebleed on that album.
Well, kind of, yeah. Kind of.
I was like, yeah. But, yeah.
I know mine's supposed to come in the mail tomorrow, but I'm thinking about going to see if I can pick up that indie exclusive, yeah. Because usually, because 21 Pilots, I'll have a couple of variants, like, I'll put one away, but I'll see, maybe.
The variant that you got, the Spotify one, that's the one I should have gotten, because that looks like the album, but now, they look at the variant that I got, I'm like, yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, because, luckily I got the extra day off. But of course, I'm using some vacation pay for it or whatever. So, but yeah, they gave me tomorrow off. They're like, it's going to be kind of slow. We don't really have much going on. You're in Orange County, so there's not a whole lot of gigs or anything. That's the thing that's been saving me is that I'm in Orange County and we don't have a whole lot of venues here.
Yeah.
But once I moved to Los Angeles,
and as I said, if you ever somehow end up with free tickets to SoFi, your girl here. The girl here hasn't been to that place. She's crossing off venues off her list for Los Angeles.
Lisa will be next. In the future, you're going to hear Lisa in the background going, because you fucking didn't take me to fucking 21 Pilots. That's the reason why I went
there. What?
Lisa, you didn't take me to fucking 21 Pilots. That's the reason why I went to so-and-so. And they were great. I fucking hated them, but they were great because you didn't take me to 21 Pilots.
No. You know what? You know what I'm going to do? What I'm going to do is if you don't go with me to 21 Pilots, I'm going to go to a show that you can't go to. I'm going to be like, I saw Elvis Costello. Take that, bitch.
She's like, I saw Elvis Costello and you didn't see him again.
No, but seriously.
Yes, you're going to see Elvis Costello and Daryl Hall.
Yeah, but if you think about it, it's been 20 plus years and she's still mad about not seeing the Cure.
Lisa's going to go to those meet and greets with Elvis Costello and take one of those too many records pictures. She's about,
he's breathy now.
And then they're going to be like,
his latest album's good, so this would be a good thing.
I'll have him sign an album to me and be like, to Groovy Lisa, sorry, Dusty, you didn't get one.
It's about to Groovy Lisa, you're a fuckface, Dusty, signed Elvis Costello.
Hey, you're giving me good ideas. Thank you.
I wonder if my new friend is going to send me a sticker of his store.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Too Many Records is your friend now. There you go.
Yeah,
because
he sold me an album, and he was very nice to bring it down a few bucks for me. So he's like, yeah, definitely, my friend. And so I was like,
You
okay,
know
I guess
what
I guess we're friends now. I cannot say anything bad about him anymore.
I mean, selling
So
you an
he's my
album.
friend, people. So
I don't have
you
a
cannot say.
picture of him anymore.
I don't go to too many records. I only go to Spin Me Around because I'm into boobs.
You know what?
Oh, there
You know what? That guy's kind of creepy.
So there you go. He's all, let me tell you how to set up your turntable today. He's all, I'm going to tell you how to set up your turntable today on Vinylize. Do. I should like jack his theme.
Oh, man.
I dare you.
Out of store 45s. This case here only cost me $50, you know, and it's about this big.
I'm going to show you how to store
45s in it, and they're all neatly stored.
13. I'm going to show you how to store 45s today. I store my whole collection in this, and it only holds 15.
I don't get how that guy got so big on YouTube.
Huh?
He's so generic on Vinyl.
I mean, how many years has he been around? That's the thing we gotta realize. It's like, okay, like how many years has he been around? So was he here? Be like way before like the VC even really started.
He was here
before there was like a scene.
No, he was here when I started, 2016.
Okay, because I was like kind of well.
Actually, he's been around since I want to say 2014.
I was about to say. I think he was here before there was a scene, Lisa.
Yeah, 2014.
I know you're the veterana, but you know.
No. I'll see what Google says. We'll see what Google says because I'm curious now.
Because I was like following him. I was following California Love 84, and I was following Damn It Sandy, which became Too Many.
You know what? I just recently stopped following her, California Love 84, because all she does is K-pop now. So it's like. I kind of like dropped off. I still follow her other one though, the Crazy Cat Lady one, Crazy Cat Lady, where she has like because she has a lot of her old thrifting videos on there. Want
to see the great album I bought today?
What'd you buy today?
This is great.
Sing Daniel, the Cisco Kid. Are those original versions like from
no? That's why I bought it. They're not. I collect these. I collect these awful bands doing these sold on TV albums. I call them fake artist bands. They're just fake albums. I love these things.
Yeah, I used to follow California Love
too. This is volume 10 of this.
Jesus Christ, volume 10.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Okay, to answer your question,
this 2015. One's King Road, although it doesn't say it anywhere on the cover. A lot of the Pickwick ones are King's Road. There's worse ones than these. The Pickwick ones are the better ones, unfortunately. I'd rather have the worst ones.
Oh, 2015.
I had 2 copies at my thrift store of this today. 2 copies. Who bought 2 copies of this?
Daniel.
All right, you guys. Well, I'm going to go ahead and end the live stream for you guys. I mean, if you guys want to stick around for a while, we'll go ahead and stick around for a while and hang out. But I'm going to go ahead and end the live stream, guys. Thanks, Trick, for being here. McGrath, whoever is here, all 3 of you people. AZ Mick, probably.
Yeah.
So we'll talk to all of you guys later. Maybe next week I will be back. Bye-bye. Thanks for being here. Bye-bye.
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 One more round.